Well, runs over. Yeah, I fucking blowed the tunnel turn on my.
I didn't have enough time for a second lap. God damn it.
I fucking blowed the tunnel turn on my first lap.
I didn't go hard enough on the first one.
Blowed the tunnel turn on the first one and smacked the wall on the second one.
At least we're starting near the front for the first time in a long time.
Fuck you.
It's been a long time. The last time we were both in near the front to start a race. Yeah, just way too conservative on my lap. I got scared of that fucking. Well, I wasn't conservative in the tunnel. I couldn't go any faster through there. I was just way too conservative in 3 and 4, or 1 and 2. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I done 1, 2, and 3, and 4 fine on the first lap, but I just completely blowed the tunnel. And then on the second lap, I got back in the gas too soon coming out of 2 and smacked the wall.
Pocono Raceway. Let's get right into your race info as we talk more about.
Gonna get them on long run speed now.
Racetrack. Looking at the track.
All right, so we should get roughly 20 laps, maybe 21.
Yeah.
So I think we'll have just enough to finish stage 2, but it is going to be close.
70% fuel, 5 sets of tires, 1 fast pair, fixed setups as always. Stage 1, lap 15 will be the caution. Stage 2 ends on lap 38. That will be the second scheduled caution, and if we were to need them, we do have 3 green-white checkers, obviously hoping that we don't need them. We just got here a little bit after qualifying, so we usually don't watch qualifying, but I was watching some of these guys, and some of them are not looking like they're feeling too comfortable in their trucks. I'll tell you who is looking like they feel really comfortable, though, and that is William McKellar in the 75 truck. Starting to his outside, it's going to be Kenneth Riedinger in the 24 truck. Third, Justin Parham. Robert Dubendak, 4th. Matthew Dyer in 5th. Joey Hickox for Hickox Racing starts 6th. He's got his teammate Randy Bonomi in 7th. Russ Kilgore 8th. Moving back to row 5, it's going to be Sam Boutwell and Paul Witt for Max Speed TV. John Bell starts 11th with Vicente Guerrero and is outside in 12th. Edward Smith 13th. Mark Jackson 14th. Jeff Carl 15th. DJ Mattis 16th. Row 9 is going to be Albert Hewins and another Hickox Racing.
Gonna have to wait and see on that second run.
Matthew Fritz 20th. Robert Jordan 21st. Fuzz Yater.
Because we've got 23 laps for that run, but some of it will be up in the caution.
Is James Scamordella.
So I just don't know if we'll have enough to do the full fuel run and pace to make it back around to the damn pits.
These guys are going to be so far away from the start-finish line when they are halfway through the track. But I think the main thing we're going to be talking about tonight is just this track does not race anywhere like any of the other tracks that these guys have been to or are going to go to. You have long straightaways. We're going to see a ton of drafting, maybe some pushing, but the front stretch is so wide. If these guys set it up right, no.
Wow, this motherfucker did not go at all.
Very possible, and you'll get a good view of it here on the front stretch as the pace truck pulls off. There you go into the Geico restart zone. We are racing here in Pocono. Pretty good restart here for Kenneth Riedinger. He is going to take the lead away. You see these guys, there you go, fan out already, restart. I wanted to talk about it a little bit
I'm
before
good.
we got to the green flag, but
I don't know, really.
Prime time, Joey Hickox trying to work his way around the outside. We'll see what lanes really work as they now work their way down the short chute straightaway into turn 2, which is referred to as the tunnel turn. This is the fastest turn on the track right here. Very tight, though. We're not going to see a lot of guys trying 3 wide through it. In fact, look at TV3. You see just the gap some of these guys can make through that. If you are good in the tunnel turn, you are going to make a lot of time on other guys. If you are not so good in the tunnel turn, it is going to come back to bite you pretty much the whole night. Working into the final turn here, it's going to be a big sweeping turn 3. There is no turn 4 here at Pocono, and this will lead them on to that front stretch. Good thing about turn 3 here is there's a lot of areas that you can move around in turn 3 and set yourself up really nicely for the front stretch here. And look at Kenneth Riedinger trying. I
don't know if he damaged my truck or what, because he hit the shit out of me on that restart.
All the way down here to turn 1.
I mean, it fucking launched me forward.
Further back, everybody is starting to spread out a little bit. We do still have some side-by-side back here with Mark Jackson and Chris Akers on the inside. Jeff Carl and DJ Mattis just behind these two. They're going to try to sort this out, hopefully, here before we get to the tunnel turn. Sure enough, Chris Akers says no thank you, and he is going to drop right in behind that one truck. Further back, everybody is just about single file. It's the 48. That's Matthew Fritz. Looks like
I think it did damage my truck a little.
Just for a second with Guy
I'm not sure, though.
But you see that outside line.
Just not driving right.
Just really can't stick up. Do you have a couple people in the chat already rooting these guys?
I don't know about mine because I got in the back of the 75 because he didn't fucking go at all.
Really tight off turn 3. You saw him have to almost come out of the throttle to not hit the wall. Let's take a look at some of these speeds these guys are going to get up to here.
I don't know if it's dirty eye that I'm in right now, but it's driving like shit back here. Don't want to turn or anything.
Robert Duvendak up to 180 entering turn 1. All the way down into the mid 140s. Down in turn 1. With that stage break coming up on lap 15. None of these guys should have to pit before then. So this is just a race to see how many positions you can get in this first short sprint. Didn't really talk about the weather, but you see it here on the side. We talked about that track temp, which is currently sitting at 102 degrees Fahrenheit. Wind not a factor today, which is good because the track's already tricky enough. 2 miles an hour. Skies are clear and temperatures in 79 degrees Fahrenheit outside. 9% humidity. Kenneth Riedinger, one of the guys that it seems like every time we're out here watching him, he is leading at least at some point.
Yeah, that fucking shit dropped me all the way back to 7th.
And his teammate Justin Parham.
You got nose damage?
I don't know. I was driving like shit, but I don't know if it's that or
I think these two are maybe
dirty eye.
kind of like, I don't know what you maybe call them, the underdog team, I guess, if you will.
I know it don't want to turn in the fucking corners.
And they're trying to put it to some of the bigger teams such as Hickox Racing and Max Speed TV. Just get a view of these guys going by you there at over 160 miles an hour, but down to the tunnel turn, Kenneth Riedinger still has the lead. I thought he would have pulled away a little bit more by now. Part of that is that big draft that drivers such as Robert Duvendak and Joey Hickox are continuing to get. And on the front stretch, if you're going to make a move, I think that preferred lane is going to be on the inside into turn 1. And that makes it really, really tough to defend. If we get a late restart, it will be very, very interesting to see if the leader tries to choose the outside to keep that guy on the inside farther back, or if he sticks with the inside, knowing that that is going to be the preferred lane. Field already getting pretty separated over this 2.5-mile triangular shaped, not really an oval, but racetrack, and we're going to see a little bit of 2 wide here. Joey Hickox.
God almighty.
No issue. Roberts trying to get down low. He's not going to be able to hold off the block on William McKellar. But William's going to give him a break here and just try to work his way around the outside. We saw William McKellar get the win at Talladega Super Speedway. If we get, well, we'll have our stage break, so we'll try to talk to some of these guys later. But last time, told you he'd give an interview. It was a little bit different than the interview I was expecting, but he let me know in the chat. He said, hey, man, next time I'm talking to you, you'll get that interview you're looking for. I promise you that. So if we get a chance to talk to William later, it's going to be interesting. Looks like Lori says, hi, all. Too many Reese's trucks. This mom is confused. And sure enough, we had, I believe, like 4 or 5 trucks running the Reese's. Let's start all the way back here with the first one. The one that's the furthest back right now. That's Guy Braco. Move up to James Scamordella in the 79. He is also in a Reese's truck. Then you go up to Fuzz Yater, currently running in 19th. He's in a Reese's truck. Let's keep going all the way up here to Chris Akers. Guess what? He's in a Reese's truck. And finally going all the way up to Robert Duvendak. He is also in a Reese's truck. So we have a lot of candy-sponsored cars out here tonight, and boy, it would be sweet if one of them could get the win. 24, though, Kenneth Riedinger still leads. Joey Hickox looks like he is finding some speed. The gap kind of stretched out a little bit early, but since it initially stretched, it's kind of been holding between half a second and a second here. And it feels like we've been racing for a little bit, but you see we are only 6 laps in. William McKellar trying to close in on Joey Hickox. I don't think the draft is quite as big in the trucks as we might see in some of the other series, such as the Next Gens. So it's not like it comes out of nowhere. It's further back. Here we go, Paul Witt. He's going to dive it down to the inside of Robert Duvendak into turn 1. And it'll be interesting to see who can save their tires and who goes for it early here. One of the biggest tracks that they're going to go to of the season. Not the biggest track. That's still, that record, I guess, if you will, is still held by Talladega Super Speedway, which we have.
Can you still hear me?
Once this
Yeah.
season.
All right, everybody disappeared for just a second and came back.
A little bit of a special paint scheme tonight. You see it there. The
I don't know what the
paint
fuck
scheme.
happened.
That's a good-looking 429 truck. Paul Witt is one of the Max Speed TV drivers. He has shown strength throughout most of the season, at least from what I've covered so far. Again, I did join in at the start, kind of a little bit towards the middle part of the season, but he seems like he has had a top 10 truck every race, and a top 5 for most of them. And right now, he is trying to catch the back of Russ Kilgore, who is one of the independent drivers in the field, the driver out of Yorksville, Illinois. Having a pretty good run. He is currently up 4 spots from where he started, and I think we're starting to see the guys who were maybe a little bit easier on their tires are going to start slowly but surely prevailing here. Kenneth Riedinger is still leading. He's got that gap. Not really stretched out anymore from where it's been. Joey Hickox in the 75, maybe doing a little bit of working together right here. You figure if William isn't that much faster than Joey, he might be able to call him saying, hey, Joey, man, just do your thing. If I get to you on the front stretch, I'm just going to push you here. And they're trying to make up as much time as they possibly can. 8 laps of the 80 completed so far here tonight. If you are just tuning in, you are watching the Tricky Triangle 200 here at Pocono Raceway on Ghost Racing Network. Joey runs a little bit of a lower exit there than William McKellar. And it seemed like William maybe got a little too high right there. Kenneth Riedinger stretching it out now by another 1/10 of a second. As further back, Paul Witt jumping to the inside here. We'll see if he can make it work. It looks like he's getting, sorry, not Paul Witt, excuse me, Matthew Dyer. Paul Witt is up 1 spot in this battle. And this is the battle for 5th. Right now, the outside seems to have the momentum. Paul Witt in the 429 truck is going to get by. Go into our TV3 cam. You can see this camera's on the front stretch. You see just how far away these guys really are at certain points in the track here. The 28 seems to be running pretty strong. The 99, Robert Duvendak, got high, maybe even scraped the wall. He had to get out of the throttle. Matthew Dyer's going to go by. And Justin Parham looks like he is going to try to capitalize on it. Can't quite close in by the time these guys reach turn 3. But out of turn 4, Duvendak looks like he's got himself back together, back on the back bumper of the 2 truck. And he's going to give him a big shove here down the front stretch. Those are those pushes that we're going to see.
Trying to get away from their drive so they stop trailing me.
Looks like he is content to stay back. A lot of patience. One of the veterans here of the Truck Series. As we go back, taking a look at Vicente Guerrero in 11th, up one spot from where he started. Oh, Justin Parham has...
I don't know what's going on with my internet. I hope I don't get kicked.
He is off track. I think he may have just disconnected. Was he blinking? He may have just potentially been blinking here. We're working on it. And I believe, thankfully, he just had a major blink or something on my end, because you see he is back now. Man, I was worried for a little second. I was about to say, 19, he was looking so strong. Yeah, you just saw him blinking right there. Hopefully his internet can hold on. Guy Braco currently not having the best night so far. Albert Hewen's back here in the 55 with Fuzz Yater. First of those Reese's, or second of those Reese's trucks back here. James Skimmerdeller, another one of the Reese's trucks. Mark Jackson in 18th.
Yeah.
Mark Jackson, we saw him starting out pretty fast, and he's one of the guys that I haven't seen so far. You got to think maybe...
Wow, where's my fucking yellow flag?
Not much, but he might have been trying to go for a little too much too early, and
I wrecked.
do shred here pretty
I
aggressively at
don't know if it was me or Duvendak, but
with your leader Kenneth Riedinger, and you can listen.
I didn't get a yellow flag.
Inputs and output here through the tunnel turn and through turns 3 and 4. And I think you kind of heard it there. Those tires scrubbing, that is, I wouldn't say not what you want to hear at all, because of course you're going to have tire scrub, but the louder that noise is, the more you are using up tires. Guys, we're getting really loose here in practice though, so it will be a little interesting to see as we go into the long run later in this race after the 2 stage breaks. If guys start to get loose or tight, you would think with the speeds they're getting down into the corners with, that they'd really be burning off the right front, but we won't know until we get a long run, as we are going to be 3 laps away from the stage break here. Next lap, Kenneth Riedinger still in charge, Joey Hickok second, William McKellar third, Russ Kilgore fourth. Rounding out the top 5 is Paul Witt, Matthew Dyer 6th, Robert Duvendak 7th, 8th is Sam Boutwell, but now he's going to lose that position to Chris Akers. We saw this guy trying some strategy at Nashville. He was saving tires better than just about any of them, and he might be trying that same strategy here tonight. He's looking to get a little track position here. He will get himself some fresh tires and try to make up even more positions during stage 2. Sam Boutwell is 9th now, and Randy Bonomi, another Hickox Racing driver, currently back.
I'm gonna go 2 fucking laps down.
This is for that 10th spot. Looks like Vicente has the bottom of the 89.
It gave me an unsafe pit exit.
3 wide, thought better of it. But that little bit of a mistake might
apparently when I wrecked, because I hadn't even left the fucking pits, it's holding me.
Takes it to the outside. And these guys, the longer you hang side by side here at Pocono, the easier it is for that truck behind to get a run. The 89 looks like he is maybe thinking 3 wide here again. Gonna tuck in behind the 14. Can they finally get clear here in the tunnel turn? The backfire out of the pipe shows you just how much they're letting off. The 5 got to the inside, but he got a little bit loose. The 66, Randy Bonomi, escapes any danger for now. The 89 going back to the inside here, Vicente Guerrero. That inside apron can kind of be your friend. There's a little bit of a rumble strip, if you will, on it, and you can use that, really hug the bottom, take the shortest way around, but it kind of wants to get you a little bit more loose. You get a little bit more front grip than you do rear grip. The man that's got working on all cylinders right now, that I was about to say, that has the most grip out of any of these guys, but he just seems to be fast week in and week out. That's Kenneth Riedinger still leading the way, and he continues to slowly stretch that gap out over Joey Hickox. Joey had a couple of rough weeks. He had a fast truck, just a couple of mistakes either on his part or on somebody else's part that he just got collected in. And he did a nice job here so far in stage 1. He was able to hold off the charge from the 75, William McKellar. He picked himself up a couple of spots early. And if he can finish this thing off for what's going to be one more lap when he hits the line this time, then he will have himself a good entry position into the pits and hopefully a good starting position for stage 2. Paul Witt got him to the outside wall. The 28, Russ Kilgore, is looking to go by. So is the 2 of Matthew Dyer, who's going to give him a little push. No, he's going to take him 3 wide, but now the 28 ducks back in line. That makes it back to 2 into turn 1. The 28 thought about diving low. Matthew Dyer really bursts the throttle. Here's a move from Paul Witt, trying to split the gap, go through the middle of both of these guys. Can he make it stick? Those the question. Looks like he's side by side. They are 3 wide down the short chute. And it looks like the 28 still trying to hang on to the outside. Paul Witt's not going to bail out. He just barely gets clear and slams the door on Paul Witt before they got to the turn. But further up, Kenneth Riedinger is working his way through the final, not set of corners, but just corner here at Pocono, turn 3. You see him get down on that apron. At
the end of the stage?
A little bit on the earlier
part. Yeah.
Stage 1 complete.
Kenneth Riedinger wins stage 1 here at Pocono. Coming in second is going to be Joey Hickox. Third, William McKellar. Fourth, Russ Kilgore. Fifth, Paul Witt. Sixth, Robert Duvendak, Matthew Dyer. Seventh. Eighth is going to be Chris Akers. Ninth,
I don't know how much damage I have.
Out the top 10 in stage 1 is going to be Randy Bonomi in the 66 truck. Robert Emerso says wreck them all.
He was able to lead the whole thing, so I wouldn't say it would be enough to
we come back. We will have your stage 1
worry about using your fast home.
If he's not, and we will talk to one of these guys up in your top 5. Stick with us.
My best lap was a 55-1. I just couldn't go.
I don't know if it was coming from damage. I think it's just a track. Because my shit wasn't turning or nothing. And I gotta go back and see. I don't know if that was my fault or fucking Dubendak's fault going down into 1.
Well, you should get one of your lap back.
Yeah, then I should be able to get the next one back on the next. What you want to call it, next stage in, then I gotta spend the rest of the race trying to make up fucking spots.
Joey Hitchcock is a decent little, having a decent run here.
He'll get fucked in the end. He always does.
Those guys behind me are only able to tow on me because of my draft, because they get to about 0.7 and then they drift off. Back to about 0.8, 0.9, and they catch back up.
We just completed stage 1. Kenneth Riedinger, your winner. Unfortunately, we couldn't find Kenneth, so we're going to talk to the man, one of the biggest movers there of that last stage, and that is second place, Joey Hickox. Joey, you got a copy?
Yes, sir. How we doing?
I'm good, man. Well, you're looking pretty good out there so far. It seems like maybe been a little bit of a rough last few weeks. Not quite as good as maybe you were hoping things would go, but so far tonight, it looks like you're showing a lot of speed. And how's the truck feeling?
Feels really good out in clean air. There was a bad mess up there on the start, so it really gave us some good track position here. So hopefully we'll take advantage of it. Good points on that stage. I'd really love to get as many points as I can tonight. Try to get the playoffs locked up for me.
Well, do you think there'll be any strategy play of anybody trying
I'm
to
still having fucking connection issues.
Do you think anybody's trying to pit early, or is everybody just going to run it out, take 4 tires, and run it green at the end?
Well, I don't know. I would like to run it out a little bit longer so you have the fresher tires towards the end, but I guess it kind of depends on how the caution flags fly. I know to make stage 2, we're going to have to save a little bit on fuel, so it'd be interesting to see the strategy on this stage. But other than that, I mean, so far it's been a pretty clean race, and just hope it stays that way for us.
Hopefully. Well, it looks like you are going to be starting on that front row here for stage 2. Good luck.
All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you. And Joey Hickox told me something that I didn't realize here. These guys are on 70% fuel. We do know that. What we did not know was that it was going to be as close as it is
When's
here.
this next pit?
For stage 2. And the little bit of
What do they
fuel
call that?
going on here, it's going to be interesting.
What
Remember,
do they
you
say?
save fuel on the straightaways
38, I believe.
38, so 20 laps from now.
When you really slow up, I think actually
I got
maybe they're
21
gonna drop
laps
that
to
last
stay. I
second.
don't know
The
how
best
much
place
that's
I
going to go
think to
down.
save fuel here at Pocono is going to be at the end of that front straightaway down into turn 1. We'll have to see how they do it, when they do it, and I mean, does anybody choose to go back in and maybe top off here? I think that could maybe help some of these guys, but it'll be an interesting choice to see if they do it. Right now, though, Kenneth Riedinger is still looking like the fastest of all of them. Some of the guys that did work up here, such as Joey, had to burn off a little bit more tire than Kenneth did because they had to work their way up here. So it'll be a little interesting to see if they can maybe see if they got anything for that 24 truck now. We should be getting the want to go signal this time. That means we will be going back green, hopefully. 31 looks as the 24 is surely not going to choose the outside here. Just going to say, I don't think the outside's going to be the place you'd want to be, but Kenneth knows more, and sure enough, there he goes back down to the bottom. We do have a truck further back. Looks like they are catching the field. Let's take a look back at some of these guys. I'll tell you what, Justin Parham went a lap down, and he might be getting that back now. Guy Braco is in 22nd, currently being scored as the last truck on the lead lap. Buzz Yater, Jeff Carl all back outside the top 20. Matthew Fritz, he is back on pit road topping off, and I like that strategy call from the 48. We'll see how it works out for him, though.
Yeah, so I'm the only one a lap down, so ain't no sense of me even fucking racing right here.
Quarter of the way through this race, seems like
So I'm just going to ride in the back and wait.
These guys have been keeping it clean and green, which is what we like to see. They tried a short track earlier in the year, didn't work out as well. And you maybe had some guys question the racing of Noma. Well, not tonight and not the last couple weeks. We have seen these guys deliver on some of these tracks. We've seen a couple messes here and there, but overall the racing continues to be great. The 24 has that little bit of weird looking shininess on the front left of his truck. I cannot tell you what that is. It's a little odd looking nonetheless, but stage 2 is going to be on 38, so caution will fly on the start of 39. So that is going to be just about 20 laps from now, and that's a pretty long ways to go on fuel, as Joey was saying. I think they'll be okay on tire, especially if they have to save a little bit of fuel. They won't be running the tire quite as hard. But the restarts are the craziest part about the race here at Pocono, and we are about to see our second one of the night. We're going to be guaranteed one more with that scheduled caution, but after that we will have to see. And it should be, you got to think, a little bit of strategy, potentially a one-stopper in that third stage if they can somehow make it 20 and 20. Before we get to that, we got business to take care of here. Pace truck pulls off Kenneth Riedinger into the Geico restart zone, and we are back green at Pocono. Another really good jump here from the 24. He's not going to have to worry about fending anybody off here down into turn 1. Taking a look further back, nobody fanning out, at least not quite as much as they were the first time, and they're all going to get it sorted out before they get down here into turn 1. Couple battles further back. We got side-by-side action between Sam Boutwell, Randy Bonomi. Further up, oh, the 4 Chris Akers got really loose. He had to get out of the throttle, and that is going to cost him a whole bunch of time as they are going around him 3 wide. Paul Witt's trying to creep by as well. Chris Akers going to have to give up that position. Robert Dubendak trying to go to the inside here of William McKellar, and it looks like he is going to make it work. Wow, the fact that they stayed side by side through the tunnel turn. William McKellar on the outside was able to keep that position for now, but Robert Dubendak is not going to give it up that easy. Put it back to 89, try to go on the apron to get around John Bell. Here comes the 1. That's Mark Jackson, DJ Maddish behind him. And this is probably one of the best views of it you'll get right here. Everybody comes roaring by you here at over 165 miles an hour. In the back of the field, you can see them still racing, but up front, they have single filed out nicely. Kenneth Riedinger already has that gap up to about half a second. Joey Hickox trying to hold off Russ Kilgore for second. Matthew Dyer is trying to creep in on this battle as well. And there's Kenneth Riedinger, continues to break the draft, and he likes what he sees in his mirror. The more these guys race, the harder it is going to be for them to catch him. The 28 now looks to the inside of Joey Hickox. We'll see, does Joey give the position away? Oh, the 28 really slid the 31 up the track. 3 wide now is the 2 Matthew Dyer on the bottom. Both guys able to hold on to it. You saw the 28 get out of the throttle, got in there. Man, that tunnel turn is just so tight. You think you have enough speed to make it through it, but if you just miss your line by an inch, that truck is going straight up the track. This does bottle everybody back here up a little bit as they are 2 by 2 down the front stretch. Looks like Joey, out of all of it, though, is going to maintain his position in that second spot. Back down into turn 1 again. The 2 Matthew Dyer continues to roll the bottom. The 75 William McKellar looks like he got a little bit tight. Russ Kilgore's going to try to get under him again. He's not going to be able to do it right there. 2 by 2. Some of the Reese's trucks making some advancements now. And if we had a Reese's sweet move of the race, it'd be a little bit hard to tell who got it. The tunnel turn seems to be where these guys are having the most trouble so far. Turns 1 and 2, they all seem to be able to manage. Same with 3. or sorry, excuse me, turn 1, but turn 2, they just cannot seem to really make it work. They've tried 2 out a couple times. They're realizing it's not working too well. Even single file, if the guy behind you gets a better entry, he can catch over a couple tenths on you. And up front, Kenneth Riedinger has the gap stretched out now to over a 1.5 seconds. This is a much different story from what we saw in stage 1, at least so far, where he was, for the longest time, not quite able to get these guys to a second gap. But part of that reason is because we just saw all the racing that went on, and that really cost Joey Hickox, Matthew Dyer, and Russ Kilgore a lot of time. Sam Boutwell is having a good run so far tonight. That is another one of the independent drivers for the Noma Truck Series. He currently sits in the 5th position, up 4 from where he started. William McKellar in 6th, down 5 from where he started. He looked really good on the restart in stage 1. I'm not sure if this is part of that fuel-saving strategy or if he is struggling right now. The 75 truck is down 5 spots in total from where he started. Robert Duvendak sitting in 7th. Paul Witt 8th. Randy Bonomi 9th. Chris Akers 10th. And we kind of expect this from Chris, the driver out of Hillsville, Virginia. He is just saving some tire, maybe saving some fuel as well. In fact, let's ride on board with him here real quick. And it doesn't sound like he's saving as much fuel as you would maybe think. If guys really want to save, they are going to roll the bottom of turn 1 as long as they possibly can. Moving back here to Edward Smith, currently in 11th. John Bell 12th. Mark Jackson 13th. Robert Jordan 14th. DJ Madish 15th. Vicente Guerrero 16th. Matthew Fritz 17th. Moving back to 18th. James Scamordella 19th. Albert Hewins, Guy Braco 20th. 21st, Jeff Call, and the couple rounding out the field is going to be Fudge Yater and Justin Parham. Justin, gotta think maybe this is something with the struggles he was having earlier. We saw him running around mid-pack, maybe a little bit farther up, but he's sitting back here right now. Looks like he's struggling a little bit. He is a lap down, unfortunately, so not sure exactly what happened to Justin. Oh, that looks like actually maybe to get some insight on what happened here. We're going to go take a look. This seems to have been a little while ago. This was under the last green flag run, so this was last stage. Let's see if we can figure out if I missed anything here. Oh, wow. And you see he was already in the grass. This it looked like he'd almost, oh, wow. And sure enough, he blinked out. And then when he comes back on track here, he's just in the grass. Look at this. This is a little bizarre. Certainly not the way you're used to seeing it. We got to get back to TV1 here to try to find it. There it is. Oh, and he's got damage. Oh, my goodness. And it just totaled that truck. So whatever he did destroyed the 19. So he certainly had to use his fast spare on that incident. And that is one that I'd be curious to figure out if we can later on what happened. Kenneth Riedinger does have the gap up to 2.2 seconds further back. I saw almost 3 wide. Now it is 3 wide. Going into turn 1, the 75 William McKellar still trying to prevail on the outside, and maybe that little bit of tire saving of what I thought was just the 75 struggling is going to start to pay off as he is now going to set his sights on the 47 of Sam Boutwell. We are 26 of the 80 through so far here tonight, and we still have 13 laps to go here in stage 2. Guys, going to be close on fuel. The tires are certainly going to be hurt at the end. But we do expect that most of them, if not all of them, should be able to make it. There's Chris Akers running that line where he is going to use all of the rumble strip up. Runs a little high off the turn. Tries to get a big draft off Randy Bonomi here down the front stretch. I'm not exactly sure where these guys head next in the season. We try to get it for you, but with no short tracks on the schedule, I mean, if you got to assume that some of the mile and a halves that might be coming up, some of these guys are getting prepared for it here. Pocono, not really like any of the other tracks. It has some of the super speedway characteristics. It has some of the mile and a half characteristics. Not really any short track characteristics, but with every turn being so different from the one before, it's not really one of those rhythm tracks that we're used to seeing. You just have to know how to hit each turn specifically, but some of the other tracks you kind of get in a rhythm. You can kind of stop thinking. You're just kind of driving. Not the case here at Pocono. These guys have to be on their A game throughout this entire race, and 80 laps is a long way. Over 200
I don't know who that is. They need to shut the fuck up.
At the tricky triangle.
That's very distracting.
Is getting back up to the bumper, trying to get around Joey Hickox. Sam Boutwell just tagged the wall pretty hard. You saw it off of turn 4 right there, and he does have some damage down the 47. We will have to see just how bad that's going to affect him. We have seen some guys get
somebody in the
wall
fucking
on
race
turn 4. It
just
comes up a lot
talking all the
quicker than you
goddamn
would
time.
think. Bit abrupt, and he is going to... I don't think it's bad enough. He should not have to use a fast spare on it, but he is certainly going to want to be able to get down the pit road so he can work on repairs for it. Next week is going to be an off week for the Noma Truck Series presented by Manny Rays. After that, we do head to the big, bad, fast Michigan. I think I referred to Talladega as that too, but Michigan is basically going to be Talladega, but they are going to have to let off throughout the turns, big sweeping turns. We are going to see a lot of 3 and 4 wide action there as well. I thought we'd see a little bit more of that here tonight. Restarts was the best opportunity, and I mean, we have just maybe not quite in the degree that I was expecting. After Michigan, it's the special event for the year. That is the All-Star Race at Charlotte, the Noma Truck Series. It's going to have a special format. We will have more on that as we get closer. Then they head to Auto Club, then Legacy Atlanta, so not the new one. So it is not going to be like a restrictor plate race, but rather still going to be probably the track that shreds the tires the most out of any of the tracks that we are going to go to. These guys did go to Indy. That was pretty brutal on the tires, but I think Atlanta still might be a little bit worse with how old the pavement on it is. The 24 Kenneth Riedinger with the gap almost up to 3 seconds over second place Joey Hickox for Hickox Racing. And this is the battle right now for second. First is pulled away, but the 28 and the 2, that is Russ Kilgore and Matthew Dyer. They continue to wait for an opportunity to pounce here on Joey Hickox. Joey trying to be perfect while also trying to watch his mirror. One of the hardest things to do as a driver. Seems like you can run so much faster if there's not a truck on your bumper versus when there is. At least for most guys, because it just takes the pressure off you. You're afraid you're going to blow a turn. You think that guy's maybe going to try to dive bomb you, so you're trying to get in the turn a little bit harder than you know you normally would. And the 28 right now is making sure he does all that, putting all the pressure on the 31. But you see, he got a little too close right there. Maybe got a little bit in that dirty air, washed up the track, and Matthew Dyer is going to try to take advantage. Robert Duvendak looked like he was going to go with him, but he quickly jumps it back in line. Looking from the rear chase cam. Actually, let's go to the cockpit through the...
Wonder if we should pit here or not.
Out. And this is
I'm not,
Jordan further back,
but I'm in a different boat than you. I'm a lap down.
Ooh, there he is. On the straightaway between turn 1 and 2, the tunnel turn.
I don't know what to do.
Like significant contact, at least with the
that would give me, if I took tires
truck.
Here.
And not sure what.
Can I make 2 sets of tires last for the last
This does bring out our first
chunk of the race?
Here he is, 3 wide.
So what are we on right now? 30, so that leaves us with 50 laps. You're going to have to make 3 more pit stops.
Gamordella.
Yeah.
And let's see if he's just going to get a little bit.
Possibly 2, depending on what it looks like after the pace laps.
On the apron. Ooh,
I don't know what to do here, pit or not.
From that view, at least we'll take a couple more shots at
I
it.
don't know.
Tells me he may have been struggling.
I feel like if you pit, they'll follow, but I don't know.
This will be 3, but then I'll have to use another set to start the next segment, right? That leaves me 2 for the rest of the race.
And a little bit right there as he gets that.
That's like 20 laps a shot.
First few.
I'd hate to have no tires at the end for a late caution, though.
Just kind of been coming down the track, so I want you to watch
his
line here.
How many sets of tires you got left?
It's kind of in between
4.
these 2 seams. He's got a seam on the bottom and a seam.
Oh yeah, and then okay, yeah.
It's gonna kind of
I'd forgot about the stage ends. I don't know what to tell you on that.
Looks like he's making pretty good grip at this point. He is now under him. 79 is gonna get on the apron. He's trying to give him room, and it looks like the 74 does just kind of come down. I mean, not really much else to it. Some contact, and there they go.
I said
into the wall.
I made a last minute dodge to go to not pit.
And we will take a look actually from on board this time. See if this gives us any better insight.
I don't know how many cars stayed out.
79 was trying to sneak.
Hang on, I'll tell you.
Contact. Unfortunately, he was not going to be able to. It looked like he did.
At least 3 or 4 behind me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
It really didn't look all that bad.
I think 7 right behind you. So there's at least 10 cars behind you before you get fresh tires.
He did tag the 74 and tag the outside wall. He may have to use his fast spare here. Pocono is a pretty aero-dependent track, so you do not want to have a lot of damage.
I don't know if that's the winning move, but we'll see.
And the 74 will be
Because I don't want to
interesting
come.
see
I don't want to get a
if
late
He's
caution and I have
looks like he's
tires
gonna keep
because
it
I
to
think tires are
optional.
going to be big if you have.
Yeah,
ten
well,
people.
I feel like with as many people that stayed
James
out,
is gonna use that
like I said, you're gonna have at least 10 people between you and fresh
This
tires.
is gonna mix up the strategy.
I don't think with the amount of laps left till the stage end, I don't think they'll be able to get to you.
And it looks like we really didn't have.
What did they go? Stage end 58
Looks like yes, most of
or
them
38?
did go
38, yeah.
Here.
So we're coming up.
And that is just
Lap 33. We'll get lap 34 as the green.
Have them if they indeed need them.
I don't know. They're about a second and a half quicker on new tires.
Indeed 5 when we talked about your race info. So you can definitely afford to burn one now with the way the race has gone for the most part. You got to think.
Yeah, but they also, I feel like they're either going to wreck with those fast tires trying to pass the slow ones, or they're just going to get bottled up and not be able to move as good as they need to.
I'm hoping for a quick wreck because I don't think they'll call stage.
Let's see what your front row's looking like here for this restart. It is going to be Kenneth Riedinger and Joey Hickox again. Joey did not get the best restart last time, and once he got a little bit back, they started really getting to racing, and they lost sight of the 24 in a hurry, so they might try to sort it out a little.
I don't know if any of these cars though behind me pitted before the yellow came out.
And rounding out
the 75 did. That's what I was looking to see where he's at.
But I wonder if he nailed the wall. That's why he had to come.
Oh, because that's showing him in 13th spot now.
Because we definitely had enough fuel to go to the end of the stage and come in at least.
Actually, a pretty good mix here.
Well, yeah, so it's showing him in 13th. I feel like he stayed out.
We certainly appreciate you being here.
Because that was 10, you would be 11. So I'm thinking maybe 2 more cars stayed out behind what I seen, what I could see in my rear view. So that would be about right where he would be lining up for pitting, you know, that lap early.
A lap down, you have to assume. As he gets by here, and that would make Robert Jordan the only truck a lap down. So if he can hang out here for what is going to be...
I'm on some really old fucking tires.
Once we go green this time, remember competition caution is going to fall on the start of 39, so it ends on lap 38. Not competition caution, stage caution rather, excuse me, for stage 2. And there's Matthew Fritz in the 48. He is up here. Tried a little bit of a strategy play there. We saw him top off. And he is up 12 positions in the Manny Ray's 48 machine. Looks like Anton Farr says, great racing coverage like always. Well, we certainly appreciate it. I'll tell you what, Pocono has been tricky tonight. It's kind of weird, but it almost seems like kind of how you're out on track, you can kind of tell when a broadcast feels like it's going really good or not. It's just not felt like one of the top ones tonight, but I'm glad you guys are enjoying it, and we certainly like trying to put on the best we can for you here tonight. The racing, nonetheless, has been really good so far. Justin Parham would like to get up there with his teammate Kenneth Riedinger, and hopefully his internet has sorted itself out, but he still has a lot of work starting back in 22nd right now. As Raymond Daniels says, the Manny Rays Mafia is watching tonight. Of course, the main sponsor for the league. Glad to see him out here. Here we go. Pace truck back off. Can Joey Hickox get a better restart? Are they going to fan out this time? We're about to find out. Green flag back in the air. 24, just a slight bit of damage there on the rear end. I just noticed that as they went green, but he gets another good jump nonetheless. These guys trying to fan out again. You see him going 3 wide further back. No 4. We actually, never mind, I take that back. We did see 4 way back in the back. Let's take a look to make sure they get it sorted out. Still 4 wide, almost some contact there. Still trying to make sense of it. And it looks like the 1 is going to get the bad end of the stick. Mark Jackson had to bail out for just about everybody there to not make any contact, and he is going to fall all the way to the back of the field now. The 66, Randy Bonomi, he's going to see if he can get by James Scammer-Della right here, but man, that got really close. The 69's getting a little tight here as well. These guys continue to get more and more aggressive each restart that we have. Chris Akers looked like he got a little bit of damage in the left door from some contact that must have took place there, at least into turn 1, you have to assume. Matthew Dyer looks like a rocket ship right now. Russ Kilgore says, I'm going with you, bud. He jumps down low as we're trying to make it work. The high side seems to be a little faster because they get the momentum off of turn 3 down the front stretch. But into turn 1, if you're on that low line, you can kind of push your weight around, force the guy on your outside up if they don't get tight by themselves, which just happened right there to Albert Hewins. These two are now going to try to get by the 25. of DJ Madish. It looks like the 28, Russ Kilgore, is actually going to try to get a 2-for-1 here. He stays high on the 25, and he's going to see if he can get around the 2 of Matthew Dyer. The gap up front this time is a lot closer. We got a battle for the lead. Joey Hickox, he is trying to get to the quarter panel of Kenneth Riedinger. He had to get out of it a little bit right there. Now he's falling back. Paul Witt gives him a little bumper. These guys don't have to save anymore, and now they know that they have a pit stop coming up, so this is really good chance to just put it all out there. Use your tires up while you got them. Kenneth Riedinger's trying to break the draft. Look at Joey Hickox follow. And this next camera view is going to give you the best angle of it. Look at these guys snaking around here down the front stretch. There you go. All the way down to the bottom, all the way back up top. And the gap that Joey closed down there on the front stretch was almost 3/10. He tries the outside, gets a little bit...
Do I still have to get that black flag since I was on the way to pits when it was closed and I was still on lap 35 and hadn't ended 35?
Run this time. Joey continues to ride high. He really could have used a push there from Paul Witt. Doesn't take it, though, into the tunnel turn. The 24, Kenneth Riedinger is still leading. It is going to be 2 laps to go once we cross the line this time. Kenneth Riedinger seems to be better than these guys through the tunnel turn, but they seem to be...
It says entering closed pits. I was on the way into pits as soon as you closed it, but I was still on lap 35. So my, 35 was completely over.
Watch, they're going to break this draft again. Taking a look from the blip cam. That'll give you a good shot of it. Kenneth Riedinger going as low as he can.
That's fucking bullshit.
So does Paul Witt, and they really closed that gap up. It looks like your leader, though, ran a 55.9 that last lap. Boy, that is...
Well, that strategy went out the fucking window.
Right after second place, Joey Hickox, a 56 flat and a 56.2. So their lap times are just about averaging out.
It says entering closed pits. As I was about to cross the line is when you closed it.
It's a little bit faster. Sorry, vice versa. But Kenneth Riedinger is starting to get a little more comfortable now that he has a little bit of breathing room. That gap only sitting at about 3/10 though still. He's got to be careful.
Drop to end.
Looks like he wants Joey Hickox to get up there to make a move, but when we're coming to what's going to be the white flag lap for stage 2 this time, he might have to think about making that move himself. And they have really fallen off here in turn 3. The gap just to that one turn stretched out.
Well, man, what's the fucking point in clearing it?
A second now, up to half a second. The white flag is in the air for stage 2. Paul Witt does have a little damage on the right rear. How about the run here late in the going for the 89 of Edward Smith? Is he going to try to make a dive bomb here on the 429? He's going to try it, but it's not going to work out. In fact, Russ Kilgore is going to try to work that outside, and it is going to work out. Lap truck way ahead. Doesn't look like it's going to be an issue for any of these guys, and I believe that is Justin Parham. Boy, he is still struggling back here, and he's just got to try to stay in front of the field here so he won't go a lap down till the end of the stage, which is in just about half a lap as they work through the tunnel turn. Joey Hickox not looking like he's gonna be able to close the gap in time. Russ Kilgore, meanwhile, still fighting for positions. He's gonna try to go around Paul Witt. Ooh, Paul Witt is pinching him down, not gonna give him any room to work with. But the 28 truck is gonna get that position off turn 4 though. Stage 2 winner goes to Kenneth Riedinger in the 24. Oh, further back, we got a truck that's destroyed. That's Fuzz Yater. He pulls it down pit road. What happened here? Damage to a couple of these guys. And not Fuzz Yater that was destroyed. Who was destroyed? Somebody was absolutely totaled right there.
Yeah, so I felt since I was still on 35, I'd be able to pit.
What did Joey say? I didn't hear what he said.
It was a good run. It was fun.
Let's go take a look at this. Oh, he's already out of shape here. So this must have happened earlier, and this was the last lap of the stage 2, so these guys are probably a little bit more upset. Did he already get to the wall, or does he just get loose? Ooh. Wow, he's already got a lot of damage here. Man. Oh, so this is going to happen going into the final turn. Let's see what goes on here. This is the 5 of John Bell. Let's play it in full speed first. Here we go. Wow, and just the 66 got in there a lot harder. And maybe he wasn't ready for how much the 5 was checking up. He's trying to save it. Oh, man. He got clobbered there by DJ Madish. Back up into that outside safer barrier. And that finished that thing off. We got to get a couple more shots. That was really odd looking. Let's go to TV1 here. See if we can get a little bit of a better shot. Watch the closing distance he puts on John. So I'm thinking initially here, John Bell's maybe going to try to sneak in line behind the 48. Meanwhile, the 66 was trying to Oh, that looks like sure enough what happened. Randy Bonomi had already committed. Almost holds on to it right here, but he's not quite able to. And then DJ Madish tags him pretty hard. That 25, you got to think, is going to have gotten some damage from it. Let's take a look. Did he? Sure enough. Oh, yeah, the 25's front end. It's pretty banged up. Take one more view of this here. Randy Bonomi's cockpit. And you got to think, you just wasn't really expecting the 5 here, and that's what it looked like. Yeah, man, just, it's kind of weird because the damage from the hit makes it look a lot worse. It didn't look like he was that much faster. But man, when he hit him, it just destroyed this thing. Sent him spinning around and ultimately into this outside wall here. As the on-rushing DJ Madish just had nowhere to go. He almost snuck by but couldn't quite do it. Looks like everyone else was able to get by. We did have one go in the grass. That looks like it might have been the 74 of Robert Jordan. Sure enough, it was.
Yeah, my strategy got blowed the fuck up.
Now, what were you saying? I was having a hard time concentrating on what you were saying.
I pitted as we was coming to the end of 35.
Yeah.
But as I was crossing the fucking entrance to pit road is when he closed the pits.
So you had no choice in the matter.
Yeah. But you know, either way, I was still on lap 35.
And I was looking to see, I want to go talk to one of these guys. I'm not sure exactly.
So, because my plan was I'm going to go ahead and pit, get tires, take it easy for the next 2 laps, catch the field. I'll just go in and get gas only.
Quick word with him, see if we can dial him up here real quick.
And make up a shit ton of spots that way. It was good on paper.
Hey, William McKellar, this is Austin up in the booth. You got a copy?
I got you, Austin.
All right, well, it seems like you've kind of had an up and down day. You looked really fast there in stage 1. Looking pretty fast here in stage 2. A little bit of struggles early, but right before we get to the restart here, what's the game plan for the rest of this race?
The game plan is just to be better than Kenneth Redinger. Seem to be struggling with that a little bit, but confidence is not something I'm lacking for, so I think I can get up there and pass him.
Well, I mean, I got good news on that. You are not the only one in that boat. I think the rest of the field is. But I know we're going to see at least one pit stop. Do you think you can make it on that one pit stop, or are we going to have to see another one?
No, this is definitely one stop. We got 20 laps of fuel. It's a 39-lap
Trying to save a little fuel because
this
is going to be close to make it.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
Decent fuel window to pit in.
Enough there. It's just.
I think we can make it.
All right. Well, cool. Thanks for talking to us, and hopefully we can see you in victory lane tonight.
Yes, sir.
We will slide him back down to his team, Team Max Speed TV, one of the Max Speed TV drivers. And boy, when it comes to super speedways, that is one of the most dangerous teams at it. But Kenneth Redinger, him and his teammate have kind of been the class of the field for a lot of races, and he has shown again tonight. I mean, you heard the way William put it there. The game plan is just to be faster than the 24 truck. The whole field's trying that same thing. This could potentially be the final restart. And these guys are going to get everything they can. Green flag back out. The 24 gets another good jump. Sam Boutwell this time looks like maybe hangs.
Woo, I got loose as a goose getting through there.
Joey Hickox on the bottom. He also gets a really good restart. They are already fanning out. A little bit calmer on this one than what we saw in the last one. Joey Hickox going to try to get clear here down into turn 1 of Sam Boutwell. 47 is going to try to make it stick. Oh, Joey Hickox had to bail out of it. And that is a bad position that the 31 puts himself in. Now he's going to have to pinch. Oh, we got contact further back. Saw one truck getting a little out of shape. I'm not sure if they hit anything. So the camera angles here are definitely not the most favorable, but somebody made.
Well, this makes the fuel a little bit easier.
So we got another one up in the wall here. That's Fudge Yater. Oh, big contact. Oh, another hard hit. Randy Bonomi. Oh my goodness. Huge, huge shot. Caution.
I gained 6 spots on that start.
That's pretty good. You are racing with a group of retards back there. It's very easy to pass.
Fudge Yater, he is done as well. Robert Jordan. What happened? This almost looked like it started back. I mean, there's the big hit, but I want to back this up even more to see if we can maybe find out what happens here in turn 1. So let's do that. As it looks like Nancy says in the chat, different camera angles are great. You're working hard to keep us entertained.
Well, he said nobody gets past Kenneth. You would have came over and said, not even your mom got past me.
In this. We're looking for what is going to be the initial thing going here, and I do apologize if you guys can hear. I am in college, so I do have a roommate, and he is raging his mind out right now, so I apologize for that if you can hear it a little bit. If it's too loud, let me know, and I will make sure I go settle it. And I'm trying to, there you go, the 69 further up. Let's go to that. That's Guy Braco. That was the one that we initially saw get loose. And let's see if he gets tagged here. Took a minute to find, but we have found it. The 66, Randy Bonomi down low, and no, looks like he just gets loose by himself, at least from that view. Heck of a save, holds on to it even over that bump. But then this is where things are going to start to get sketchy here, because I believe it was the 84 of Fudge Yater here. Gets, he tried to make a move, and you see he was kind of straight. He didn't have that arc into the tunnel turn, gets up into the wall, and coming off the wall there, gets into the rest of these guys. Big contact for some of these guys. And that did mainly collect 3 trucks. A couple more views of it. This was that initial angle. And once he gets up in the wall, he's trying to get off of it. Maybe just steers a little too much off of it right here. Comes down. There's a shot. Oh, man, the 74, the 66. Randy Bonomi, huge hit. Nowhere to go. Take one more view here. This is after the 74 has already made that contact. Oh, man, just nowhere to go. Oh, that is a huge... Wow. Who was that? Somebody hit so hard. They actually... I think that was the 6th. Yeah, this is Guy Braco. So he hits the wall so hard right here. It launched him out of the track. The game just sent him immediately to pit road. My goodness. So a wild ride for a handful of drivers just about, and it ends the night for at least a couple of them. Up front, Kenneth Riedinger is still your leader. No change there. Sam Boutwell second. Paul Witt third. Joey Hickox is back to fourth. Matthew Dyer.
This should guarantee us on one more stop.
William McKellar seventh. Eighth.
Yeah,
Chris
this
Akers,
is making it.
John Bell in 10th. James.
We're starting to get into green white checker, like eating that up a little bit.
Going to change the strategy for any of these guys. At least not too much. Of course, it will still be that one pit stop. However, they're going to be a little bit more comfortable on fuel now, so this could change up the idea of, do you pit as soon as that fuel window opens at this point, or do you maybe try to run it a little longer? We did hear Joey say he wants those fresh tires to be able to use them, and I guess I would imply with that he means he would rather go later so that when he does take the fresh tires, he can really use them. We'll see what happens. We should be getting that one to go signal next time, but we still see some of those guys in that wreck on pit road. Fudge Yater, the good news is he's got that thing cleaned up. He had a fast pair. The bad news is he is no longer on the lead lap. Randy Bonomi, his night looks like it might be over. He already used a fast pair in the last incident. Robert Jordan, believe he has used his fast pair just now. He's got that 74 cleaned up. Guy Braco in 20th, up 2 spots from where he started in the 69. It looks like he also got that thing fixed. And, I mean, we couldn't even tell how much damage he really had because the game sent him to pit road immediately. The 98, Jeff Carl, he's got a little bit of damage on the right rear and on the right side, just a little bit there. The 48, Matthew Fritz for Hickox Racing, seeing if he can make his way to the front later in the going. Sure enough, the pace truck lights are off. That means we are going to be going green this time. We are over halfway through this race. If you are still sticking with us, we appreciate you spending your time here on a Saturday night watching Ghost Racing Network, watching the Noma Truck Series, rather, presented by Manny Reyes. These guys are going at it.
Nobody really cares, Joey.
Remember, next week is an off week, so there will be no race, at least not here on Ghost Racing Network. I guess if these guys wanted to have fun, they could go do one anyway. But a good break. When we come back, hopefully we see, you might see a couple guys come back. Sometimes some of these guys just wanted to take a couple week break. Some of them might be on vacation. Not sure, but we're going to have a good stretch of races once we do come back, starting with Michigan, which that one does even the playing field for a lot of these guys. It is just about wide open, at least in the early running. So we may see someone else besides Kenneth Riedinger at least try to put some fight to him. And if we get a late caution, we saw on that late restart in stage 2, I think some of these guys do have something for the 24 truck. On the short run, I think the struggles are coming in on the long run. But as of right now, it would end in a long run. So we'll see. Of course, fixed setups. Nobody can make adjustments. So that is just simply Kenneth Riedinger just that much faster behind the wheel as we are riding. On the left front here of William McKellar, 75. He is going to be starting in that fourth row. He's got Matthew Dyer. And
I got to fucking thinking about everybody talking that I did not get to the start.
On the outside, second row, getting it all mixed up. Here we go. Pace truck pulls off back to the Geico restart zone. The 24, can he get another good restart? Paul Witt this time tries something different. Ooh, Kenneth Riedinger tried to check him up. It didn't work out. The 47, Sam Boutwell gets a good jump. We might see a new leader here. This really stacked things up. We are not used to seeing this into turn 1. The 47, he's trying to get clear. He's not going to be able to, though. Paul Witt gets the 24, big push. And they are side by side. Kenneth Riedinger, he is going to try to get clear the 47. He is going to be able to do it. Paul Witt to the bottom, still sticking the inside. These guys did not quite play nice, or as nice as they've been on that restart. Kenneth Riedinger trying to break the draft off the 47. Joey Hickox gives them a run. They're going to go single file for those first 2 spots into the tunnel turn. You saw Kenneth Riedinger. He realized the 429 was trying to read his restart. He tried to go late. The 429 said, nah, I'm going, man. You are going to have to go. Gave him a couple shots, but either way, the 24 still finds a way to get out in front. Down the front stretch here. Looking like, oh, Russ Kilgore almost got into the back there of Joey Hickox as he was trying to take away that position, that 4th position. The battle for 4th.
Yeah, I got to looking at the fucking mesmerized by the comments being made, and I got to looking at the fucking starter flag line and looking at as the restart bot.
It is the 74 Robert Jordan with a clean truck, and I think he played a good strategy by not taking his fast break, even when he did have a little bit of damage. Further up, John Bell and Edward Smith on the bottom trying to get by DJ Madish. It looks like John was able to complete it. Edward not quite going to be able to do the same. He's got to be careful here, getting a little tight off the tunnel turn. Up front, the gap now back up to a 2nd so far. The 24, Kenneth Riedinger. He's starting to do that thing where he pulls away from the rest of the field and they can't really do much about it. Looks like he is still working to break the draft, showing you from pit lane 2 here, or pit lane 1, excuse me. These guys come flying by. Looking at the dashboard, that's the speed 178, almost 180 miles an hour down into turn 1, and then our abrupt stop just about as they get down. And I'll tell you what I'm seeing here, Kenneth Riedinger, looks like his speeds, actually he ran a different line. He didn't get down into the low 140s until exit. For the rest of the field, we've been seeing guys get down into the 140s a lot earlier, so he may be taking a more aggressive entry than the rest of the field into that first turn. 79, James Scamordella, he is trying to go by the 1 of Mark Jackson. He does complete that pass out of the tunnel turn. And everybody's going to stay nice and calm. And we know at the super speedways, pit stops are key, but at these tracks, it's the same way. It's just trying to maintain the track position that you have until those pit stops. So we have a pretty aggressive battle here for 3rd position now all of a sudden. The 429, Paul Witt, now it's going to be for 2nd. These guys, you could throw them all under a blanket just about. We got a handful plus a couple more. Ooh, the 28, Russ Kilgore, getting a little tight on Sam Boutwell. He's got to be careful there. 3 wide, William McKellar, a beautiful move to the bottom. It's going to take advantage, the 2 for 1. The 2, Matthew Dyer falls back. He's trying to hang on the inside. He doesn't have any draft, though. And remember, the closer you get to that truck in front of you, on the straightaways, the more draft, the quicker you're going to pull up. However, the closer you get in the turns, the less you're going to...
I'm scared to get around anybody because I don't know what the fuck my internet's doing.
It looked like Paul Witt may have just scraped the wall a little bit. Not Paul Witt, excuse me. I believe it was Sam Boutwell, actually. 2 kind of have the same colored trucks, but looks like he doesn't have any damage, so he should be just fine. Kenneth Riedinger already has the gap up to 2 seconds, and at this point, you got to start to think the rest of the field is going to maybe need a caution if they ever want another chance at him. We do have 19 trucks still on the lead lap. 3 trucks are a lap down. Robert Jordan, Fuzz Yater, and Guy Braco. And Randy Bonomi is the only truck currently out of the race, and we did see him involved in 2 incidents, which did overall end his night. 30 laps to go here at Pocono. Well, 30, I guess, when we cross the line next time. But it is starting to
Holy
slowly
fuck.
lead out to the end of this thing. It's not really going to feel like the
I was almost in that.
until we have that pits. Oh, we got one in the wall further back. Hold on just a second. And no caution. Do they all keep it together? We had a couple on the apron. DJ Madish is slow. More contact further ahead in the wall. And now the caution flies. Ooh, the 84 is still on the wall. He's going to finally make his way off of it. That is Fuzz Yater. 5th caution of the night. It's going to change things up even more here. And thankfully, I don't think this one really.
How many laps
collected
did we
too
run
many
there?
guys. Ooh, DJ Madish, all out of whack right here.
I'm not
Further
100%
up,
sure. I know it
think
was
so with DJ.
30,
No, this does start further up.
39, I think, was the lap we pitted.
79 of James.
And then we had another
Sam
caution,
Miller.
so I'm going to say we got probably 6, maybe 7 laps on the tires.
He may not have been the actual wreck. It doesn't look like it here. But you see that
Thinking about
47
pitting.
of Sam Batwell, they both are just going to get...
I am, but I'm back in the
2 under
field,
the
so...
corner. Ooh. Oh, no, there is contact, ladies and gentlemen. The 47 gets into the back, wasn't trying to.
I don't know how many people would
And that does send the 70
come,
into the
because
outside wall.
just needs a
Takes
few
the
more laps
right
to make it
side.
to the end.
47 also getting into the wall, but further back is where we're going to see, yeah, more spinners. The 89 sideways, that's Edward Smith. He gets into DJ Madish, and I believe that is what ended up drawing the caution. DJ's trying to hold on to this thing. Does he somehow save it? No way. What a save from the 25. He may have made slight contact, but overall not too bad. And then if we zoom out here, we saw the 84. Actually, let's go to the blimp cam. We saw the 84.
How many stayed out? How many came in? Can you tell?
Looks like there's the 84 into the wall.
Not sure. Looks like 5 or 6 stayed out. 1, 2, 3. A decent amount actually came in.
That initial incident, excuse me, seemed to be what brought it out. DJ Madish, what a save. Watch this. So you see the slight contact there that he makes with the 89. Couldn't quite check up in time, but how he misses the inside wall is beyond me. Let's take a ride on board with him for it.
I don't think that's enough that stayed out.
Some of the things these guys do, and I mean, this is an art, and I'll break
I should have came in, but it's hard to tell. I don't have all the cars to render on my screen on the rearview mirror.
Yeah, I don't either.
But right there, you hear how he had the brakes locked up when he was.
And I
If he doesn't lock the brakes,
couldn't see exactly what stayed out behind you where I turned in, and the fucking wall was blocking.
Turns it to a sliding thing where he just has to control the front. Man, those are some quick hands and fast reaction time. Nicely done by the driver of the 25 truck. Going back live up front, your current leader is the man that's been out front the entire night. Nobody has really managed to lead a lap except for Kenneth Riedinger. He currently sits.
I just want to get to lap
pit, excuse me,
60 and then pit.
Second is going to be Paul Witt. Third, Joey Hickox. Fourth, William McKellar. Fifth, Chris Akers. And sixth, Matthew Fritz. And now is where we could see a little bit of strategy play. The good news here is these guys are going to be able to burn one of their sets of tires a little bit more aggressive than it was going to be.
I'm scared to get around anybody because I don't know what the fuck my internet's doing.
Second on back than what we were seeing last time, I think.
I thought fucking DJ Mathis was just slamming me in the rear end, which he was on my screen, but I don't think he was on his.
Remember, 20 laps of fuel is what we heard from William McKellar, and that, from when we go green, is going to probably only be about 7 laps away from when the fuel window will open. Now, I don't think that most of these guys will necessarily go in right away. I guess it depends on what strategy you want to take. But I feel like I like the idea of maybe splitting this in half at this point. Get yourself as much as you can out of both tire sets. Unless, of course, there is a lap. You know, I also thought maybe if you burn your tires up here early, then you pit early, play it conservative. But if you save your tires, you run them a lot longer so that you can burn the next set you put on. We'll have to see how it pans out. But the lights on the pace truck are off. That means we will be going back green this time, and it looks like it is going to be 26 laps to go. Once we do go back green on lap 54 of 80, we are going to take another break, but you won't miss a thing as always as we go Ghost Racing Network side by side.
Now let me not fucking look at the grandstand markings and think that's the fucking go pot. I was wondering why it was green and I was getting tapped in the ass. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Got to thinking about candy and shit. And before you know it, I'm fucking getting tapped in the ass.
You wanted in on our candy conversation. Meanwhile, the guy behind you was saying, I got some candy for you.
Welcome back to Pocono Raceway for the Tricky Triangle 200, where we are 53 of the 80 laps through this event. This 200-mile event, pretty grueling one for a lot of these guys. One of the guys that it hasn't been too grueling for, though, is Kenneth Riedinger, as he has been what looks like on a Sunday drive so far. But we saw Paul Witt get really good.
Fuck me, dude.
Not going to be able to do it this time. Kenneth Riedinger catches him sleeping. As
Yeah, well, my race is over.
And when that
Son of a
leader gets a
bitch.
good start, it keeps the rest of the field from stacking up. The bad side of that is these guys might have a chance to line up quicker and maybe put something to the 24 truck. But right now, Kenneth Riedinger back out in charge, where he's been all day after they exit turn 1. The 31 Joey Hickox trying to get a little bit of a draft. That first lap is your best chance at it while the tires are fresh. It looks like Paul Witt's trying to get to the inside of Joey. He couldn't quite do it right there. Does he take another lunge at it here down into turn 3s? It looks like Brenda did say, good save to the 25. And, boy, you got that right. That would definitely be the Reese's Sweet move of the race if we had one. And it looks like, man, some guys got really tight. William McKellar almost got
Wow, I got to jump out of the gas big time right there.
Joey Hickox trying to stay in the draft of Kenneth Riedinger. But already he's got that gap up to 0.3 of a second. Not as quick as we've seen him stretch it out over time as some of the other times, but now it's a matter of can we go green and see those green flag pit stops. If we end up getting a caution where it breaks it up and we don't have green flag pit stops, that could really change the outcome of this race as well. Tell you what, actually, you know what, hold that thought. I was just ready to do a crank it up, but Joey Hickox is back knocking on the back door of Kenneth Riedinger, but you see Kenneth just ran the tunnel turn so much better. Joey can get a good 3 right here. He might have a chance. Let's see. It looks like he is going to take a little bit of a more conservative arc in. That's trying to set himself up for exit. Let's see down the front stretch. Does the 31 have anything for Kenneth Riedinger? Nothing yet. Looking at the blimp cam again.
We're struggling in 1 and 2.
Closing distance all the way into turn 1. It really starts to close up, but it's not going to be enough. And on that note, let's do a little Pocono crank it up. Here we go. And that is going to do it for tonight's segment of Crank It Up. I hope everybody did enjoy. Again, a little bit hard here to do at Pocono, so we don't have the camera angles that we do at a lot of the other tracks. But Kenneth Riedinger still leading the way. He has that gap up to over half a second.
I ain't got no straightaway speed now.
Boutwell had quite a bit of damage in the 47 truck. He's still back here battling, but the right front of that thing not looking too pretty. Neither is the left side and left front of Chris Akers, who looked like he had quite a bit of promise at the start of the night. Justin Parham, wanted to make a note about him. He is in 18th, and you know, I know that's not nearly as good as what we're used to seeing from the 19, but with the issues he has had tonight, the fact that he is up here on the lead lap in 18th is impressive enough in itself, but he does unfortunately have some damage to the right side of it, so he is probably not going to be able to make up as many positions as he would have liked to. We are in the final 25 laps here at Pocono. However, that's still a long way. Remember, this track is 2.5 miles in length. That's the same as Daytona. The difference is these guys are not flat out the whole way around this track. The front stretch is longer. The longest front stretch.
That was the best time for a caution.
You're welcome.
The truck series, at least for Noma, and pretty much all of NASCAR. And your fun fact of the day, Pocono, you see on the backstretch here, that catch fencing they have up top used to not be there. And then Casey Kane one year didn't flip, but got airborne, got into the bushes that used to hang over that safer barrier, and they decided maybe we should add some fencing here. As caution is back out on the track now for Fuzz Yater. And what happened here? Ooh, the 84 pointed in the wrong direction. So this looks like it is on the straightaway from turn 1 to the tunnel turn. That has seemed like the area where we have had quite a few issues today. Let's see what happens here if it was contact or if he just got loose by himself. See, 3 wide, Justin Parham. Ooh, Justin,
I'll take it. I'm not sure if I came up or he came down, but I'll take it. I'm going to be in the back anyways.
Different shot of it here. And
oh, was it actual legit caution?
Yeah.
Who was it that you got in with it?
That fucking stupid ass Fuzz Yater. I gotta go back and watch the replay. I'm pretty sure he came down track.
Man, it almost didn't give them the contact initially. And is the 84 going to keep it out of the wall? No, unfortunately, slight contact. But overall, a pretty good save here in terms of not destroying that truck. And doesn't really look like it's too bad on the right front. Let's look at this from the chopper view. And a little bit of a rare mistake here from Justin Parham. It looks like he just got...
Oh, this has been a complete fucking shit show for me.
He's in between the seams, that 84 is.
Yeah, it sounds like my Bristol race.
Apron, the 84 was maybe coming down slightly, so it definitely wasn't quite as egregious. But I think,
well, if you think about it, like the last few races we've done in the league has been a complete shit show. It's like I'm on one of those fucking shit streaks.
And the 19 does some drift in action. Man, just barely missed where that wall kind of spits out a little bit. And then the 84 right here locks it down just a little bit too late, but contact right here, I don't think that's enough to really do too much. At least we hope it's not. That does bring out what is going to be your 6th caution of the night. 4th one that wasn't scheduled. Of course, we did have the 2 for the stage breaks, and now it is going to be right on that fuel window for these guys. They all are coming down to pit road now, being led by the race leader, Kenneth Riedinger, Joey Hickok, 2nd, Paul Witt, 3rd. But I mean, at this point, everybody should be able to make it to the end, so this should eliminate any chance of green flag pit stops. But if we do see another caution towards the end, then it becomes a question of who has tires, and do you pit or do you try to keep your track position? And I think with what we've seen tonight, if you're trying to get the win, you're going to have to pit. I think tires are the only chance you're going to have at beating this 24 truck. However, if you're just trying to get a good finish like a lot of these guys are, maybe you stay out. I'll tell you what, we just saw some 2-tire stops, and that is going to shake some things up because we are going to have some new leaders. Those new leaders are going to be Matthew Dyer and Robert Duvendak, the 2 in the 99. I really like this. This is going to make this restart really exciting. The driver out of Santa Rosa, California, and the Reese's machine, the driver out of...
Oh yeah, he definitely came fucking down into me. I'm wrapping the fucking bottom.
They are going to make Kenneth Riedinger earn it right here. Should be about an...
I mean, I went up some, but you know how I'm coming off the corner. But he fucking drove down off the corner.
Long run tires might prevail, but these guys might be thinking that we are going to see another caution, knowing that cautions do breed.
These guys took 2 tires because they came in that previous stop.
Yeah, I just put my last set on, so I've got what I've got. Which my car's fucked anyways.
Hey Matthew Dyer, this is all set up.
It is what it is.
Yeah, I got you.
Well, it looks like you're playing a little strategy here. I'll tell you what, it made me excited up here because I know this is going to make the racing really intense.
I'm just ready for it to be over with now.
I only have one set of tires left because I pit before, I believe before the end of stage 2. So really, I only have one set of tires left. So I don't want to use it just in case if I need it later. But you know, it's worth the risk.
All right, well, I mean, you do have the track position now. We know, obviously, clean air is better than dirty air. So you're going to try to fight really hard to stay on the lead here? Or if you see that 24 getting big in your mirror, do you just let him go?
I think I got to be careful with the 24. I've seen what that nose can do to other trucks. So, you know, we'll see.
All right, well, thank you for talking to us. Good luck.
Thank you.
And we are looking to put...
Where y'all at on track?
Tunnel turn.
Trying to move Matthew Dyer back to his team here. That is why you probably hear me going quiet. He's on Spino Racing. That's what we're looking for right here. So give me just a second.
I'm sorry, we're going halfway to the tunnel turn.
Whenever these guys give
Okay.
us the in-race
I
interviews.
thought we were coming out of tunnel turn there with the way it came out of that corner.
I was trying to take my time to catch up. That way I ain't using the fucking tires I've got.
Trying that, especially not with as crazy as this restart's about to get. If you missed the whole race and you're just now tuning in, that's okay because you're about to see what is most likely going to be the best part. Robert Dubendak, Matthew Dyer. You heard Matthew Dyer say he's going to be a little careful. He doesn't really like the nose of that 24 truck. And he doesn't want to see himself get spun out. He's looking for just a good.
I think there was still some wear on the left side tires.
Takes those last set of tires. He might be in good shape. The 99 Robert Dubendak, one of the veterans in here. We know he is.
If I remember right.
But I think I'm looking
Yeah.
back here at some of these other guys. If they
You're not going to run a fast lap on two right side tires.
Good luck. And these guys are going to need it right here. It's about to get wild. It's about to get crazy. It's, well, what it's been the whole night has been tricky for a lot of these drivers. We have seen a lot of guys getting loose spinning. We've seen a couple guys overshooting turn 1, a couple guys missing the tunnel turn. And now we are going to see if anybody can hold off the 24. The 2 has the advantage of using that Geico restart zone, and he really needs to use it to his advantage here. If he can get a big jump, that might be his best shot to hold off Kenneth Riedinger. Here we go into the Geico restart zone. 18 laps to go. Green flag back in the air. And the 2 got a good restart, but guess who else did? That 24 of Kenneth Riedinger. Wow, Robert Dubendak. Looks like maybe kind of just let him go here. And Matthew Dyer's probably saying, well, dang. I was hoping you guys would race a little bit back there, but into turn 1, how long will the 2 tires outlast 4 tires? Kenneth Riedinger already getting to the outside, and he already is looking to have a run. He did have to burp it a little bit. Looking a little bit further back, we have a couple battles going on midfield and back. Looks like the 5 of John Bell is going to see if he can get the best of Matthew Fritz. The 14, Vicente Guerrero, he is trying to get clear of Russ Kilgore. Ooh, the 28 got a little tight. Can he keep it off the wall? It looks like he does. The 5 of John Bell sliding around. So is the 25, DJ Mattis, but he is no stranger to sliding around. We saw the save he had earlier. James Scamordella. He is back here. Matthew Dyer.
See ya, wouldn't want to be a bitch.
Out of turn 4, the first lap back green. Kenneth Riedinger, here we go. He's got the run. Can he take it here?
I'm the triangle master, motherfucker.
That's the 2 thing about blocking. I think he's going to play it smart here, and sure enough, that's what he's going to do. He is not going to throw a block on the 24. Yanks high to the low side. Kenneth Riedinger. He is going to try the slide job. The 2 is trying to hold on up top, but he just doesn't quite have the tires to do it. That is going to allow Robert Dubendak to take a look at potentially going by. He's not quite able to. He tucks back in line. Kenneth Riedinger back out in the lead. Here comes Joey Hickox. He is another one of those drivers that is on all 4 new tires. And he's trying to take advantage of him while he's got him. And he knows the quicker he gets by these guys, the better shot he is going to have at Kenneth Riedinger with 17 laps to go here at Pocono. Paul Witt side by side with Robert Dubendak. We have not really seen that outside making much progress here in turn 3. It seems like it's worked for the most part in turn 1, at least if you're on new tires. It's worked a couple times in the tunnel turn, but just has not worked much in that final turn 3. Going back here, the 19, Justin Parham, currently sitting 19th. Everybody else is single file. It looks like we now have 21 trucks on the lead lap after those couple cautions. Couple guys got it back. Fudge Yater,
Ooh, that fucked with my eyes down here in the tunnel turn. The darkness.
From the race. Kenneth Riedinger has the gap up to half a second and continues to stretch it. No more pit stops, don't forget. So at this point, use all your stuff up. Of course, you don't want to use it up right away because 15 laps, which is going to be what it is once we cross the line, is still a lot of racetrack that you're going to have to go around. But Joey Hickox, once he gets to the end of this thing, knowing that he doesn't have to worry about trying to make a pit stop, he is going to give it all he's got. So is Paul Witt. But if those two get to battling too much, then they may not have a shot at the leader. Ooh, it looked like Paul Witt initially was starting to get a little tight. You saw the front end start.
Need that cloud to go away. It's bothering me.
He holds on. And Joey Hickox now sets his sight on the 24. Kenneth Riedinger gets a draft down the front stretch. And that draft, I'll tell you what, I mean, we've seen it pretty consistently. It'll tick off between 2 to 3 tenths. That's a lot. That's almost a third of a second on just one straightaway. The 75 William McKellar looks like he just got by the 99 Robert Duvendak. And you're seeing that two-tire strategy. While a valiant effort may be starting to not pay off as well, those guys are probably hoping to get one more caution somewhere within the final 10 laps. And I would not put it out of the question just yet. We saw the first 2 stages go pretty much clean. We saw stage 1, of course, go green all the way. Stage 2 green for most of it. Stage 3 has been a little bit more caution-filled so far. And I think it may not be a bad strategy call to have a set remaining in the pits no matter what. You got to think Kenneth Riedinger has a set left. I mean, as fast as he has been, there's no need for him to try to take any special tire strategy of taking extra tires to maybe make some track position, as he has had the best track position all night so far. 14 laps to go. Once we get in that final 10 laps, that is where time starts to tick down. Joey Hickox still trying everything he can right now. Let's ride on the gearbox of your current leader, Kenneth Riedinger. He sees that 31 was maybe starting to get a little bit bigger in his mirror, so he started trying to break that draft again. We don't see that at all the tracks, but we have seen it a lot here at Pocono. And there's the view out of the front windshield of the 31 Hickox Racing driver, Joey Hickox, as he continues to try to track down Paul Witt. You see, it looks like he's running pretty much the same line. It looks like Kenneth Riedinger actually ran a higher liner out of 3 and 4. A little interesting. We'll have to see if that uses up more or less tire, as he does a little snake draft here down the front stretch. Joey's going to close it back down to the low 0.7s, but Kenneth continuing to stretch. I think Kenneth really beats these guys in that tunnel turn. Kind of interesting. You see how at this track, it looks, at least from the view of Joey Hickox, the back end almost looks a lot more skewed, at least in the turns, than it does at a lot of the tracks we go to. So you can almost see the side of Kenneth's truck there. And taking a ride on board here now with your current leader, Kenneth Riedinger. And boy, he runs that tunnel turn really good. Oh, he did have to get out of the throttle right there. Didn't run that turn as nice as he would have liked to, but it doesn't look like Joey was really able to capitalize on it much. Kenneth Riedinger, he has won a couple so far this season, but I think Pocono would be one to be pretty proud of, because like I said, there's just no turns that are the same as any of the others. A lot of the other tracks, a lot of guys have a chance. Here at Pocono, if you win, you know that you really were the class of the field. With 12 laps to go, Kenneth Riedinger has got to start to be feeling a little bit better and better by himself. Once
I need that sun
5 to go, he might
to beat different in the tunnel turn. I can't get through there no more.
But not yet, because Joey Hickox is still keeping him honest within a second. Back here we do have a battle between Vicente Guerrero and Robert Duvendak. That's going to get really close to almost some contact. The 99 is going to get high. Almost no, he does touch the wall. Vicente Guerrero is now going to try to take advantage and go around the outside. And the 14 now going to get on the back bumper of the 99, but wasn't able to make a pass. The 4 Chris Akers, he has used his fast pair, so he is going to try to make as many positions as he can up before the end of this thing. There goes Vicente Guerrero. This time he is going to get some help from one of the Reese's trucks. That is Chris Akers. Thought maybe the same candies would be working together, but doesn't seem to be the case, because Chris Akers did not go with Robert Duvendak. He went with Vicente Guerrero. That is a Max Speed TV driver. They aren't teammates in the truck series, but Chris Akers, I believe, is a Max Speed TV driver in the Super Speedway series, which is on Mondays, and that's a pretty cool series. Make sure you guys go check that out. Of course, I do have the Discord link in the description if anybody out there that is watching would like to get in on the action. Of course, I know most people are out here rooting for their driver. And who do you have winning this thing? I think I could take a wild guess at who most people's pick would be, but you never know. And I'll tell you what, Joey Hickox and Paul Witt are doing a heck of a job here. I mean, all things considered, Kenneth Riedinger this time only has the gap up to a second, which is a pretty big gap. Nonetheless, they will be able to hold on to that draft as long as they're within 1.5 seconds. After that, that draft will no longer be a thing, and Kenneth Riedinger is trying to get to that threshold right now. The field continues to spread out, though, here over what's just been a 10-lap run. When you see it there, they were almost a straightaway spread out. And I think by the end of this thing, we might be close to half the track spread out, which is a long way here at Pocono. And I'll tell you what, I've driven Pocono before, and it's just, I know we talk about that it's the same distance as Daytona, but it really doesn't feel like it. It just feels so much longer. I mean, you have that really, really grueling front stretch, extremely long. You have the short shoot through turns 2 and 3, and then you have that second straightaway from turn 1 to turn 2. But the art of breaking the draft, something that they didn't really do in the truck series a while back, but guys on iRacing, they do every trick in the book, and that is one of them. Kenneth Riedinger, of course, not having to do it anymore because that gap is now at 1.2 seconds, and I think he's realized at this point it is all about running his race. He's not really racing anyone else at this point except for himself. And no mistakes for the next 9 laps is going to be key for the 24 truck. Back here, though, we do still have a battle for what is going to be second. Right now, it's more of a battle for third as William McKellar is trying to see if he can get around Paul Witt in the 429. Gives him maybe a little shove there down the straightaway. He's going to tuck it. You see different entries there into the tunnel turn. It looked like William McKellar backs it off, takes a more conservative approach. That should save him some tire in the long run here. Joey Hickox and Paul Witt, a little bit more of an aggressive line. And you really don't want to run the same line as the guy in front of you if you don't have to, because you see right there, once he gets into that draft, the truck behind, or the truck in front of him in the turn, it'll take off some of the air off the nose of that 75. He gets a little tight, washes up. Matthew Dyer, Chris Akers are going at it. Chris Akers, heck of a comeback here late, up 13 spots from where he started in the 5 spot. 5th position, good top 5 run right now for the Hickox Racing driver. Joey Hickox is the highest Hickox Racing driver. He has been the highest running Hickox driver for all the night, just about. Randy Bonomi was out in front for just a little bit, but that was when he was under caution, of course, and he did fall to the back. The gap now back under a second, and as I say that, it stretches out, so maybe I should stop saying anything to stop jinxing him, but surely you got to assume here that Kenneth Riedinger has made sure he's conserved his tires, knowing that he has the lead. He does, but you never know, because you got drivers like Chris Akers. Chris, I don't think is going to have a chance to get quite to the lead, as he is currently 3.5 seconds back, but drivers like Chris Akers, they're making sure they save their tire. They don't use it early, and then in the late going, it is so fun to just watch all those trucks all of a sudden fall back, and there's just nothing they can do. You feel like you're on 4 fresh tires to guys who are on tires with ice on them, I guess, or however you want to put it, but 7 laps to go here at Pocono. And the gap is holding around a second now. Joey Hickox has pulled away from from 3rd and 4th. And I'll tell you what, let's take a look at the lap times, ladies and gentlemen. Don't count this thing out just yet. There you go, compare them up. Joey Hickox, what we saw, it looks like the last 2 laps has been about a 10th slower. But the 2 laps before it, he was a 10th and then 3/10 faster. So you never know here. As long as he can keep it within a 1.5 seconds, he's got a chance. He's got to try to hang with him on the turn, so he knows that front straightaway.
I just suck in 1 and 2
right now. Kenneth Riedinger knows that front straightaway is his biggest enemy, because that's where Joey Hickox can pull back 2 or 3/10 without doing much. All he's got to do is ride and follow whatever lane that 24 goes in, and now it's down to 0.8 seconds. Joey was faster that lap. And Kenneth is starting to feel it now. You see him starting to break the draft. He's going to have to hold him off for 5 more laps into the tunnel turn. Has Joey found something here late? Look like Joey's running a little bit lower. That makes me think Kenneth may be starting to get tight. And I'll tell you what, if Joey could somehow pull this off, and I'm rooting for him right now, not because I'm biased necessarily to any of these guys, but who doesn't love a great comeback and a great battle for the win? It would be probably his best of the season, I have to say, and he's closed it down a little more now. It's down to 0.7 seconds. We do have one in the pits further back. Not going to affect anything up front. We'll go take a look back at it. I'm not sure exactly who it was. Robert Duvendak's in the pits. And that may be taking some tires here, hoping for a caution.
I'm struggling through the
Sure,
tunnel turn
maybe
now.
do one more run through the field before we keep it up front to see if Joey can keep or get a chance at maybe going for the lead here. Fuzz,
You should be like me and even struggle on the straightaways.
The last truck still in the field, and that is not the best run, but he's only down one spot from where he started, all things considered. Robert Duvendak, 21st, Sam Boutwell, 20th. Guy Braco, 19th. James Scamordella, 18th. 17th, Robert Jordan. Mark Jackson, 16th. DJ Maddish, 15th. Albert Hewins, 14th.
Damn it.
13th, Jeff Carl. 12th, Justin Palm. 11th, John Bell. 10th, Edward Smith. 9th, Vicente Guerrero. Matthew Fritz up 11 spots in 8th. 7th, Matthew Dyer. Russ Kilgore, 6th. Chris Akers in 5th. Paul Witt, 4th. William McKellar is 3rd. Oh, we got one crash. Caution's out. Caution is out. It's Robert Jordan. Hold on just a second. No, the 74. That is going to finish his night off as that thing is totaled. Just when you think we're going to finish this thing, all of a sudden we're not.
That's probably going to fuck me now because I don't have tires.
It's going to fuck me because I don't know what to do.
Finish. Oh man, this is.
If I don't come in, they're gonna come for sure.
74 Robert Jordan, man, he's already beaten up at this point. Wow, looks like a ton of things happened here. I'm not even sure where this initially starts. It's gonna start in the tunnel turn. It looks like that's the 79 James Scamordella. Boy, he's had a little bit of a rough night. The 74 looks.
How many
like
cars
he's
are on the
getting a
lead
little
lap?
tight here. And the 79 is trying to get below. I think the 74 is out of the throttle.
21.
Coming up the track. Ooh, yeah. Yikes. James just gets into the 74 here. And then they're going to make some more contact down into the inside wall. And then that kind of ramps the 74 over him. And then he's going to get back into that inside wall pretty hard. And everybody else sneaks by. That is one of the max speed TV drivers. Robert Jordan had a tough night, made a comeback, and this is not going to help his situation. And that's a tough one there. Gotta think Robert's not gonna be too happy about that.
I don't know what to do.
I don't know, man. It's going to be a green-white checker.
Right there that does all the damage to that front end and pretty much.
I don't know what to tell you.
The
This
Because
engine.
I'm
track's so
sure-
fucking big.
Let's take
Sure, some people are going to pit,
back this up.
but I'm
again.
sure if you
Take
stay
the
out,
other
there might be a good many people going to stay
TV2
out.
or TV3 rather.
I know I'll be staying out because hell, I ain't got no tires.
See, he's up the track. He's really out of the throttle. That's where the contact is made. And boy, if you were sitting in the
I don't know
green
how
stage,
many
you
other
got to
people's
see
in the
the
same
outside
boat
of
as
that
me.
74 truck. And now let's take one more view right on board here. See what happens. I think he just got tight initially too, is what initially sparked it. And see, he gets high here. Yeah, things just not turning. You see he's out of the throttle on the brake, and then nothing he could do. An innocent bystander kind of got spun around, and then there was that initial contact. Got it locked down, but not going to be able to avoid that secondary contact.
How many
Let's go
stayed out?
live. And up
It's like
Kenneth Reed
one
is
in front of me.
And I'm going to go to intermission here just for a second so I can check.
I
We'll
got
be
two
right
people
back.
coming up behind me.
Hold on.
And I take it back because these guys are going to answer my question. I wanted to make sure I didn't miss any pit stops because of how important they're
damn
going
it.
to be, but they're doing them right
I
now.
slid
so we
through
don't
the
have to worry
stop.
about going to break. And Kenneth Riedinger let him down. Russ Kilgore, bold strategy. He is going to stay out. And so is Robert Duvendak. A couple guys.
It held me forever.
Hold
It
on,
wouldn't let
this
me
is
fucking
really gonna
go.
get exciting. Kenneth Riedinger, does he take 4? Does he take 2? What about the rest of the field? Do they try to maybe change it up? And those battles,
It went
that was
down
good
and
to
then
see.
it wouldn't let me
We might
go.
see him here. Does Kenneth Riedinger win the race? Out of
I didn't
pit
even
road?
take
It's gonna be
fuel.
close, and it looks like he doesn't. Joey Hickox is going to win the race out of pit road.
I don't know what that would have been
Jeff
about.
Hall, I believe, got second. Kenneth Riedinger is wondering what just happened as he is going to be back to 6th place on this
Yeah.
restart.
It held me for
Russ
like 2-3
Kilgore
seconds before it would let me go.
Stays out, and he has
And by
himself
then they
the
were already
lead.
fucking blew my doors off.
It is going to be an overtime finish. And quick reminder of the overtime rules. Take a Justin Parker.
Whatever you do,
also
hold up to
stayed out here.
31.
He's got some damage, so I'm not a little interested on what the call here was for the 19. We'll have to find out, but reminding you of the overtime rules, if we take the white flag, then
By all rights, he
Cautions
should
will
fucking
finish
go
the race.
screaming by my
They
ass.
don't, but if these guys were to get in an incident and the yellow flies before we take the white flag, then we would rack them up and try it again. And we should be getting the 1-to-go signal this next time. We will head over.
That's gonna put me
Give you a
1,
quick
2, 3, 4,
reminder,
5,
Next
6.
place the Ghost Racing Network stops is tomorrow night. It's the Promoters All-Star Series. And this is a different event. It is.
So you're
Monday
behind the
night, 6
31?
races there.
Yeah.
First, second, and third. 340, 240, 140.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, Dubendak right there in third. He's fresh. Because I think he pitted. I think he pitted, and then the next lap the caution came out.
At 8:30, qualifying at 8:55. We will be going green at 9 or 9:05, and the stream will be starting at 8:55. So hopefully we see some people back there. Stage break at lap 30 with $100 on the line to spice things up.
Well, I'm hoping you get clear of him or clear. Are you like bad busted?
For tomorrow. And
No, I've got finally, you know, okay speed. I was starting to run them down. I'd work my way up to 12th.
I'll tell you what, the race.
But on the old tires with the damage, I'm not gonna be good at all.
Great, and you're in my line.
You're gonna have in this restart. I mean, you have the
Are you like down on power and shit?
I'm not down on power, just a little bit of aero. So it's mostly straightaway speed. But after we get out of this quarter, I can get out of the line.
Up here in the second row, you got a guy that stayed out. Russ Kilgore, Justin Parham. His night has been not good at all so far.
Well, actually, I can go kind of high if you want me to in one, and let y'all go middle.
What's going to happen here? Joey Hickox,
I don't know what's about to happen.
Has been running second fastest. Maybe had something for Kenneth Riedinger. We don't know, but now he.
I wish it would. I wish I wouldn't have slid through my stop, and then for it to fucking hold me another 3 fucking seconds.
I could have told you who I thought was going to win this, and now I don't think I have a clue. These guys are finally going to be doing that thing where they go 4 and 5 wide on the front stretch. Hopefully they can keep it clean, though, because we have a lot of competitive trucks still with a chance of this thing. William McKellar, Paul Witt, don't count those guys out. How about the 98 of Jeff Carl? He is up here in the 6th spot. Edward Smith has shown some speed. He is back in 11th. Matthew Dyer. Him and Russ Kilgore have been kind of the same all night overall, but they split strategies right here, and the intensity is definitely going to be picking up for these guys right now. Joey Hickox is thinking about what can he do to beat the 24 to a punch. Can't let him.
I'm gonna be up against the wall.
He's gonna be in trouble, but he's got a good shot here with all 3 trucks on the front row being on old tires. Here we go for the final time. Green flag is back out at Pocono. The 28 Russ Kilgore gets a huge jump. The 99 Robert Dubendak not able to follow. Joey Hickox trying to get to the outside. Here we go. He's gonna go 3 wide. No, he stays 2 wide. Take that back, but if he can get to the bottom, he might. 3 wide further back with Paul Witt. Almost contact between.
Did he just wreck me?
Now we see Kenneth.
I didn't see exactly what happened. It was in front of the guy in front of me.
Joey Hickox racing as hard as he can. He slams the door on Kenneth Riedinger. Here we go down the straightaway into the tunnel turn. Who can get the advantage? The 31 was able to hold off Kenneth Riedinger, and now he is fighting Paul Witt. Oh, there's contact. Huge hit into the wall. We got a couple trucks in the wall. Oh, another one spins. That's 89. Edward Smith. Oh, he gets T-boned.
Lost this race because of that late last fucking caution.
Into the wall with not James Scamordello, Paul Witt. 2 of the most dominant guys of the night are done.
This truck's done. Then I forgot to turn off my fucking fast repair, where the fucking whoever that was at the beginning fucking drilled me.
Hold on
Yeah.
And this was 2 guys going at it.
The bad thing is that late last caution came from the people back there who were technically racing for last fucking place.
Sure enough, you saw on the camera angle here, as it looks like they're both getting ready to come down pit road right here.
Let me see what happened.
Both trucks destroyed. Good news is they do both have a fast pair and they are going to use them. Just got to make sure.
Yeah, I couldn't see what happened to you right there. I was behind the 98. I just seen it when both of y'all went down into the
Oh,
wall.
wow. He's actually going to tow. As I'm not sure.
Yeah, he just came up and touched my door and just sent me around.
Who was it?
24.
The fucking 429.
Let's go take a look at it.
Oh, Paul Witt.
Shaking this thing up late. Oh man, the contact's already been made. Let's start with the chopper view. I think Paul Witt was trying a really hard side draft here. You see the.
He just comes up in my door, and then as soon as he touches me, it just turns me left.
Oh man, I mean that is neither of these guys' fault. I mean, you saw the 24 maybe slightly creeping down. Paul Witt maybe slightly creeping up. They just barely touch each other, and once they get hooked together, they really get hooked together. And then after that, it's on here. Watch this hit, man. 24 spinning back up the track. Looks like nobody else does get.
I don't know if I'm even gonna have enough fuel for this, but I'm gonna fucking stay out and try for it.
He had an incident. This was further up, so let's see what happens here. You'll see this incident happen between Paul Witz, Kenneth Riedinger. There they go on the wall. And then
And
3
that's
wide
that.
as they're trying to miss
Lovely.
it. Ooh, the 69 Guy Braco gets into the 89. And he gets clobbered by Albert Hewins, who just had nowhere to go. Let's take a look at this from Kenneth Riedinger's point of view in a couple ways. And there's the initial big hit. Now let's ride on board Kenneth. And man, what went from a dominating day that looked like a driver that had the win all but locked up, but he is going to have a lot of work ahead of him now, and that's if he can hopefully not go a lap down here. If he goes a lap down, then that will just about end his night, and it looks like still sitting on pit road here. The field is working their way right now through the tunnel turn. Sorry, turned 1 actually, excuse me. So I believe Kenneth has now already went a lap down. That would end his night if he has. And we are going to have some guys who maybe didn't think they had a shot at the win all of a sudden saying, hey, this is my race to win. And a couple of those guys, actually a handful of those guys are going to be your top 5. Russ Kilgore first, Robert Dubendak second, Joey Hickox third, William McKellar fourth, Matthew Dyer rounding out the top 5. But let's talk about your top 10 because I think they're going to have a chance at it too. Vicente Guerrero 6th, 7th, Matthew Fritz 8th, Justin Parham 9th, and Sam Boutwell. And rounding out the top 10 is Chris Akers. And I do want to see if maybe I can get one more interview with one of these guys, because with a shakeup that big, you got to wonder what's on the minds of some of them. And let's see if we can get a word here from Robert Dubendak. Hey, Dubendak, this is Austin up in the booth. Got a copy? Well, I'm good, man. Let me unmute you here so everybody can hear you. But, I mean, what a turn of events here. All of a sudden, the fastest guy in the race, he's out of it. What's the game plan now?
Well, I'm good, man. Let me unmute you.
Yeah,
I mean, what a turn of events here. All of a sudden, the fastest guy in the race, he's out of it. What's the game plan now?
I took a gamble
Yeah, I mean, the Flex
with about 5 laps to go, and I put in the green to take my outside tires.
What was that?
And just said, you know what, I'm not going to win this riding in 10th.
I took a gamble there with about 5 laps to go, and I put on the green to take my left side of tires. And just said, you know what, I'm not going to win this riding in 10th, you know, on old tires. So I can pit, take the tires.
No.
With a couple laps on my car, and looks like Russ is on old 24 lap tires. So it'll be interesting to see what happens here.
4 fresh tires.
It will be interesting for sure. You got a charge and Joey Hickox also on new tires there. It's going to be starting below, not below you, but below Russ Kilgore on the inside. Well, I'll tell you what, good luck. Hopefully you can hold him off, and we'll see at the end of this.
I appreciate it.
Thank you, and that is Robert Dubendak, who is currently sitting second, leading that outside line. We're going to put him back down to his team.
I appreciate that.
And, I mean, remember, we noted it earlier. We said that we thought maybe he was trying that strategy for initially. I said, I'm not sure why he's pitting. I said, unless he's just taking some tires now, hoping that maybe he gets a caution. And, boy, he got it. He got a couple of them, in fact, and we are going to be going green this time. Kenneth Riedinger, check out how he's doing back here. And he is still sitting on the pits. Actually, it looks like he has retired from the race, and I mean, you do hate to see that. Had the fastest truck all night. Definitely had this thing locked up. If it wasn't for that incident between the 79 and the 74 that initially started this, we have 18 trucks on the lead lap. Robert Jordan being the last of them. Kenneth Riedinger, one of the ones that is not on the lead lap. He is off track right now, so Albert Hewins is going to go by. Actually, Kenneth Riedinger is out. Excuse me, Albert Hewins is the only truck that is a lap down, and he is really hoping for a caution so he can get that thing back, as we will go to him right here. Yeah, I do apologize for the camera angle there. I like Albert's truck. Nice looking gold and chrome. Moonlight Speed, it looks like, so what that says. The 14 Vicente Guerrero to his inside, but here we go up front. It might very well be the final restart if these guys only have 2. I think they might have 3 green-white checkers, but hopefully we can finish it this time. Russ Kilgore, he gets another good jump. Robert Dubendak, on the other hand, not the best start. And Joey Hickox, he is going to be able to get clear right away. This is really going to help the case for that 31 truck down into turn 1. Russ Kilgore right now is going to have to do a lot of blocking. Further back, they get right to racing. Matthew Dyer, Robert Dubendak.
Yo, Joey's gonna win this one on these
He's got
tires.
new tires, but Joey and the 2 have a little bit newer tires. Yeah, you can see it's already hurting the 99, but Joey Hickox has he is going to want to get around this 28 as soon as he can, so he doesn't have to contend.
Well, that just fucked me.
Joey's still staying patient, though, here.
Because now I'm going to have to go fucking pit and get fucking fuel.
One slip up, and Joey is going to pounce. The 28 gets a little tight. There we go. Joey's there side by side in the short chute into turn 3. Russ Kilgore, can he hold him off? It looks like he does. Joey's going to back out of it wisely here, but now he's under fire from the 2 of Matthew Dyer. Caution is back out, and that is why he backed it down. I'm not sure who the caution is for.
Caution is back out, and that is
why kind of wondering, Joey had to get out of it all of a sudden. Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what brings out the yellow here. See if we can figure something out.
Joey had to get out of it all of a sudden. Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what brings out the yellow here.
We're looking for that. Oh, there you go. The 75 William McKellar goes for a spin. Not sure if there was contact initially here. Oh, looks like there was.
Oh, there you go. The 75
Let's go to William here.
For a spin. Sure if there was contact
and
initially here. Oh, looks like
he's going to get tagged. That is the 69 of Guy Braco. And it looks like Williams coming down maybe just a wee bit. The 69 is coming up a bit. But, I mean, the tunnel turns just too hard. A lot of times get 2 guys through. They make some contact.
Oh, God damn. That motherfucker just never turned. He just drove right into his ass.
Anyone else? The bad news is William McKellar.
Guy Draco, or whatever the fucking retard I told you to watch out for.
Oh, God, Brocco.
Yeah, he just drove right into the fucking McKellar.
Couple more views of it here.
He just never turned. He just said, I'm just going to use you as a hopeful break, and it's not going to work. Bro.
Boy, he is... Man, oh man, he almost stayed off the outside.
Really, the fucking leader up there is talking about he ain't got but one lap of fuel left, so he's going to stay out and fucking run out in front of the field.
That might have been the best time for a caution because at least he'll have another chance to think of a strategy here. I think he was about
31
to get passed by Joey Hickox, who had a huge run.
He's probably the second
and we're going to see a couple pit here, Matthew Dyer being one of them. He may have a set of tires left, and if he does, we'll see, can he make up enough time? And going back into the race info here real quick. Actually, I think we'll keep it off.
Yeah, why would you pit the tires down? You'll never make up all those spots.
Their last chance at a green-white checkered. So if we get another, yep, sure enough it is. 3 green-white checkers. We've already had 2, so if we draw another caution, this thing will end under caution. Which, of course, we are hoping that we don't see.
Yeah, I'm not going to walk away with a top 10 if they wouldn't have had that last caution there.
Now saying, guys, please keep it green at least until I can get around to 28. He has got to be feeling good.
Been racing great. I'll tell you what, Joey Hickox right now is saying, guys,
Joey got to be starting second on that outside line. Russ Kilgore is first. Joey second. Chris Akers third. Robert Duvendak was able to hang on to the top 5 still. And Matthew Fritz around the top 5. Sam Boutwell 6. Guy Braco 7. I'll tell you what, Sam Boutwell, let's go back just a second. Remember when he had that damage? We were talking about he was struggling. Well, here he is. Pack up inside the top 10. Almost inside the top 5. And that is an independent driver, so doing a heck of a job out here tonight. Mark Jackson 7th. Guy Braco 8th. DJ Madish 9th. And Sean Bell rounding up the top 10.
Drivers doing a heck of a job out here tonight. Mark Jackson 7th. Guy Braco 8th. DJ Madish 9th. Sean Bell rounding up the top 10.
We should be getting the 1 to go signal this next time, and as much as I would rather not, I do need to get a drink of water, so we are going to take just a quick break, but we will be back before this thing gets started.
That fucker's going to run out of fuel. If he only has 1 lap of fuel, he'll probably run out before they even get around here.
I think he said he had 1.8 during, when we was under pace. So then running these 2.5 laps of caution laps is going to use some of that fuel. So when he gets going back green, I'm going to say he only has enough for a lap, maybe a lap and a half.
Yeah, he is gonna run out. I pity anybody behind him. I'd want to be in second right now. Well, he's gonna get a good launch. He might get through 1 and 2, and maybe the tunnel turn, and then after that, good luck. Don't stay behind him.
I think what he's hoping for is another quick caution.
Yeah. I don't even know if he'll have enough gas to get around and claim the win then.
I don't know.
It's gonna run. It might be out now.
Hang on. He said he's got 1.4 laps right now.
Yeah, he needs a quick caution.
But it should be showing that,
200 here,
I think, under his current speed.
On our final, what is going to be 2 laps here.
So when we get to going, I'm going to say he ain't got but maybe a lap.
Right here, once the pace truck pulls off,
If that.
is going to try everything he can to hold off
I don't
Joey
know. We'll
Hickox.
see.
And it was going to be borderline on whether or not he could do it for one lap last time. But, of course, Joey was not on the front row. This time he is. And Russ Kilgore is going to have to do everything in his power to get as big of a jump as possible here on this restart. Matthew Fritz, let's give him a shout out. Up inside the top 10, actually top 5 even, in that 48
You
truck.
better get a quick
14
big
spots
jump
where
and
he
then
started
hope
the
for some
comeback.
retarded
The driver
shit.
rocking the Manny Ray's paint scheme for Hickox Racing. And we have had a good crowd sticking around here tonight, and they are ready to see how this thing is going to end. Joey Hickox, man, he is another one of the drivers that has worked really hard for it tonight. You kind of got to hope he wins it. Russ Kilgore done a heck of a job with strategy play. So is Robert
another
Duvinac.
caution?
Chris
They fucking
Akers
wrecked coming across the start-finish line.
second row as well. You can't
So
tell who's going
Kilgore
to win
spilled
it,
one.
but we are going to find out. Here we go. Pace truck pulls off. Green flag back in the air for the final time in Pocono. The 99 got a big jump. Oh, no.
I can't believe the caution didn't come out.
Or did it?
No.
No.
Oh, fucking
Chris
99's gonna
Akers
get
has
it.
crashed in the back.
The
Oh,
31
this is
did not
terrible
go.
news. Joey
Where did he go?
Hickox. And
Oh,
that
it's
is going
just-
to end his race.
I don't know what happened.
That is not what we like to see, but we do.
Oh, somebody else died.
Kilgore
Oh, fuck
still trying to
me.
hold off the 99 of Robert Duvinac, trying to get around the outside into the puddle turn. Something's going to have to give. Who's it going to be? Side by side.
Duvinac.
I doubt my fucking car makes it back around
Make it stick. Sure enough, he does.
for the
New
final
leader,
lap.
but Otis wrecking out back. The 47 of Sam Boutwell's around, and caution is out. Robert Duvinac
Wow, yeah.
is going to win it.
That was fucking Booville or whatever his fucking name was. Just clock. Hey, clock went.
And man, I'll tell you what, Matthew Fritz looked like
That's
he was
good.
on the way, but just gonna run out of time because of that. And that is gonna be how the tricky Triangle 200 ends. In torn up cars and broken hearts. And I mean, man, you hate to see it for some of these guys. Great win nonetheless for Robert Duvinac with the strategy play, and he has got to be pretty ecstatic. But I mean, let's go break this down because this got pretty wild as Robert Duvinac will come across the line. Let's go all the way back to green flag here. And unfortunately, Joey just small mistake, and boy, he is probably kicking himself right now.
What happened
But
to the
let's ride on
31?
board. I believe he missed a shift again. I'm not sure. I have not seen it yet, but here we go. What it seemed like there. It almost seemed like Joey was maybe in a different gear, and then once he realized it was go time,
I don't know,
wasn't
he
quite
kinda got,
able,
like,
but I need a track
shot in the
review of it
rear.
here.
Oh,
Let's see
the
here.
4 was on the outside of it. You can't pass it before the start finish line.
Oh yeah, Joey just in the wrong gear, doesn't go in. Chris Akers gets into him, and carnage from behind. Everybody else was just about able to avoid it.
Oh,
but
you never went.
Still took out
Come on,
a
baby,
lot
make it
of
another
good
30
trucks.
feet before you
Joey
blow.
with a truck rider, but then we go ahead here a little bit to what is going to be the incident involving Sam.
Well, I don't know, the
Bowers. Doing a
31
heck of a
just
job.
never
Him
went,
and Matthew
though.
Fritz, look at the ground
Oh,
makeup on
good.
these two who were going at it.
Came home
Made a
nuts.
little bit of contact up
Woo!
front. Robert Duvinac
Smoking like a
is gonna
fucking
take the
freight
lead in the
train.
tunnel turn, and then just after is where you're going to see Sam Boutwell go for a spin here, which is going to ultimately end this race.
Yeah, but you see what happened.
He can, and he's really turning.
31
Oh, once he gets to the wall, it's over.
was frozen in
Back down,
time, and
huge
then the
hit.
31
Oh, man,
and the
back
4
into traffic.
was
Paul
closing
Witt,
on
oh
him
my
like everybody else
goodness.
was, and he just
Huge
collided
hit.
with
That
him.
thing is going to end up on its roof. Let's take another look at this.
yeah, crop that
Paul
motherfucker.
Witt. My
Paul
gosh, he's
Witt.
went for a heck of a ride. Watch
Motherfucker,
this.
he's stuck in the fence.
Up into the catch fence. That, I'll tell you what that looked like was Myatt Snyder's crash just about. And we will take one more view of this in the cockpit view, and then we will go get
Oh, that's
interviews from
motherfucker
your
you
two
hit.
winners.
You
Well, he got
clocked him
stuck
after
in
he
the
was
catch
already
fence.
upside down.
Paul Witt was probably right here thinking he could get through it, and then all of a sudden there he was. That is a wild ride for sure. At this point,
Yeah, I didn't even realize that was Joey, but I almost fucked his world on that start when he was spinning. I didn't know that was him.
Back to the
I
checkered
barely
flag
got
here.
fucking turned to miss his ass.
A little bit here. Do it the manual way so we don't have to wait.
Go down here and see what the fuck happened in the other corner.
And I know he did some printouts, and that's of course what we're all wanting to see. And actually, I think he just, as soon as we got the check, maybe started burning it down. Either way, let's go get your top 3 in here, and we will find out. Mark Jackson, by the way, getting back in the top 3.
He just, as soon as we got the check, maybe started burning it down. Either way, let's go get your top 3 in here, and we will find out. Mark Jackson, by the way, getting back in the top 3. Heck of a job.
Another race stolen.
Yeah, so sitting here looking at Joey. I don't know, he didn't go, but the 4 was also pulling out of line before the start-finish line.
Yeah.
So that's what actually wrecked him.
But if you listen to the replay, you can hear the 31 going. It wasn't that he wasn't going. He just wasn't going as fast as the other people. But even then, you're not allowed to change lanes before the finish, the start line. So anyway.
All right, and I have found your top 3. Let's start.
Yeah, he's not in second gear.
Excuse me. Let me
I feel like he's in 4th.
Finisher because Mark Jackson unfortunately does not have Discord.
If you, I don't know if you're still in here.
Congratulations.
No, you left
Jackson
earlier. Yeah.
Again,
but yeah,
back for him.
Inside the car,
the second, though, who we do
he does not go to picking up speed at all.
Yes, sir.
Well, I'm looking at the stats, and I mean, up 17 positions from where you started, bringing it home for Hickox Racing in second. But man, I feel like, what do you think? You just need a little bit more time there, and maybe you had a shot at him.
From where you started, bringing it home for Hickox Racing in second. But man,
I didn't race
I
good
feel
all
like,
day
what do you think?
today.
You just need a little bit more
My
time there.
teammates
Maybe
were
you
way
had a
better
shot
than me.
at him.
Joey and Chris Akers were.
Yeah, I was hoping to run out of field.
Definitely better than me. I was just hanging on. I'm
I didn't
just
race
glad to finish
good all
second.
day today. My teammates were way better than
I'm
me.
thinking more or
Joey
less,
and
even
Chris
with the fuel
Akers
thing,
were
it looked like you and the
definitely better
47
than me.
were
I was
making
just
a
hanging
ton
on.
of
I'm just
headway just
glad
on
to
the
finish
tires
second.
that you guys had. You think
Well, I mean,
maybe
but I'm thinking
was
more
there
or less
much
even
more
with
you
the
could
fuel
do
thing,
there, or
it looked
just
like
needed
you
another
and
lap?
the 47 were making a
Yeah, I
ton
did
of
not
headway
go.
just on the
I had
tires that you guys
5
had.
laps of fuel
Do
left,
you
so I
think
was
maybe
good. So I was waiting for
was there
everybody
much
to run
more
out.
you could do there, or
Hoping
just
hope
need
it
another
stayed
lap?
green.
All right, well,
Yeah, I did not
unfortunately,
go.
not quite able
I
to
had
get the win,
5
but I mean, either
laps
way,
of
up
fuel left,
17,
so I
finished
was good.
second.
So I was
Very
waiting for
impressive.
everybody
Before
to
we
run
let you
out.
go, is there anyone you want to thank or shout out tonight?
I want to thank Manny Ray's,
unfortunately, not quite able to
sponsor
get
of
the
the
win,
league
but I
and the
mean, either
sponsor
way,
of my
up
truck
17 finished
and my
second. Very
teammates.
impressive. Before we
They
let you
always
go,
do a
is
good
there anyone you
job.
want to thank
Joey,
or shout out
Chris,
tonight?
Jay's not here.
I think Manny
and
Ray's,
Randy.
sponsor of
And
the
I wanna thank
league
you
and
for
the sponsor of my
broadcasting.
truck and my teammates. They always do a good job. Joey,
All right, well,
Chris,
thank you. We
Jay's not
certainly
here,
appreciate it.
but,
Ladies and gentlemen, the
Randy.
second place finisher,
And I
Matthew
thank you for
Fritz, brings it
broadcasting.
home in the 48 truck.
Yeah. So that first wreck I was
Now let's
in,
move on to the winner.
Thank you.
The man that
the
we talked to
99 literally
right
just
before
turned
chaos
straight
really
down into my
started.
left
That's Robert.
right rear quarter.
Robert, you got a copy.
But
How you doing, Austin?
I don't
Good,
think
man. I'm
it
assuming
was
you gotta be
a
pretty
purpose
excited with the way
thing.
your
I
strategy
think
played out. Started with the strategy
it
that
might have had to do with my
I guess a lot of
internet
people would've
fucking
said,
up earlier.
No chance it works out. You get your caution, and then it becomes just trying to hold on.
Or
All of a
technically it was
sudden,
fucking up
two
damn near the
cautions
whole
later,
race,
here
other
you
than
are
not the
out in
last
the lead. What were you
15
thinking on
laps.
that last lap?
Yeah, unfortunately, in that last lap, that last restart there, I was saving all the fuel I could under those 3 green-white checkers, and coming to the green, I had about 1.9 laps of fuel in the tank. So I was like, if I don't catch a caution here, on this final restart, then I'm either gonna run out of fuel coming out of turn 4, or maybe I'll get lucky and everyone behind me will wreck and I'll be able to coast. But fortunately, it looked like Joey might have missed a shift there in the restart, which kind of stacked everyone up behind me, and then at that point it was up to me and Russ, and Russ was already over the radio saying how he was close to almost a lap short on fuel, so he was hoping for the caution to come out pretty quickly there too, and luckily I was able to get around him before that caution did come out.
All right, well, that's going to be a lot of good momentum going into the off week and then into Michigan right after that. Thanks for talking to us, but before we let you go, is there anyone you want to thank or shout out tonight?
Yeah, absolutely. Got to thank everyone here at Noma who runs the league for us each and every week. I got to thank Manny Ray's for sponsoring both our Truck Series and Super Speedway Series. Thank you for coming on board this season, and everyone at Ghost Network for broadcasting us for the rest of the year. I got to thank my teammates, Shooter McGavin Motorsports, and my wife and kids who let me do this, every Monday and Saturday. So.
All right. Well, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Robert Duvendak wins it at Pocono. And we will go over your finishing results before we let you go. Finishing first tonight was Robert Duvendak in the 99 truck. Second, Matthew Fritz. Third, Mark Jackson.